Charlottesville, Virginia found a rising star this year in the form of quarterback Matt Blunden. At 6'7", Blunden towered over ACC opponents, throwing 19 TD passes while going the entire season without throwing an interception and taking Conference Player of the Year honors as the Cavaliers continue to ride an 8-game unbeaten streak. After 2 years on probation, Norman, Oklahoma is back on the college football map. Sophomore quarterback Cale Gundy's versatile style is complemented by hard-charging tailback Mike Gaddis. Tonight, the 47th Gator Bowl pairs two evenly matched programs that are on the rise. Virginia and Oklahoma next. Live from Jacksonville, Florida, TBS Sports is proud to present the 47th Annual Gator Bowl. Tonight, the Virginia Cavaliers and the Oklahoma Sooners. Hello, everybody. Along with Tim Foley, this is Bob Neal from Jacksonville. Temperature in the low 50s at game time. 2 days of fog and rain have cleared away, and it's a good night for football. This natural surface field is in great shape. And Oklahoma very happy to be back in the bowl business. After 2 years on probation, this is the 30th bowl appearance for Oklahoma. They've won 18 of them. And Virginia, after not being a bowl before 1984, this is the 4th in the last 5 years. And marquee players in our primetime game tonight, Tim. First of all, it's Matt Blunden, the 6'7" quarterback for the University of Virginia, and Mike Gaddis, the great tailback from Oklahoma.
And both are great stories. Matt Blunden sat by patiently for 3 years watching Sean Moore zip the ball around for the Cavaliers, and then all of a sudden it was his chance. And what did he do? He became ACC Player of the Year. Polite, unassuming, and as we said, patient. He, along with Terry Kirby, those are the two rocks that George Welsh has really built an offense around that had been disassembled by graduation.
And Mike Gaddis was on his way to stardom 2 years ago before he hurt his knee.
He had 800 yards through 5.5 games, just had 130 yards against Texas, and bang, out went his knee. Cost him 5 games of 1989, then all of 1990 in rehabilitation, but he stayed in there with it, came back this year as a third-team running back, and here he is, a starter, all Big 8. First time an Oklahoma running back has done that since 1982 when Marcus Dupree did it.
And these two teams are very similar in terms of ranking statistically, offensively and defensively as we look at the offense. But after you look at the numbers, that's where the similarity ends.
Exactly. You know, Oklahoma, everybody knows Oklahoma offense. They're going to take that ball and they're going to say to this, so you can see this, boys? Open your mouth. Here it comes. You know, they're going to shove it right down your throat. Now, Larry Coker talks about trying to become more balanced on offense, but they just haven't had the weather to do it with yet this year. Whereas Virginia takes a more distinguished approach to the game. A little finesse. They'll throw the ball, spread it around to a variety of receivers, and develop some good balance in offense.
And the same is true defensively. Both of these teams, excellent. They lead their conference, and they're nationally ranked.
Exactly, and they're both built around a couple of All-Americans. It's Chris Slade for Virginia, Joe Bowden for Oklahoma, providing the leadership. They're both well coached, and they won't take a lot of chances, but you can give Oklahoma the edge on defense, I think, simply because of experience.
Excellent football teams, both of them with 8 wins, both of them happy to be in this Gator Bowl. Both of the coaches, Gibbs from Oklahoma and Welch from Virginia, have had their teams here all week long, and prior to the game, we asked them both to talk about their philosophies against each other in this game.
When they line up in the shotgun, he's 6'7". It's hard to really go put a lot of pressure on the quarterback because he sees the pressure coming, plus he's able to see down the football field. But we got to mix things up. We're going to play some zone. We'll play some man-to-man. We'll bring some linebackers at times. We'll bring our strong safety at times. We'll just try to change up our scheme.
Well, we have to play our defenses, and we're prepared to do some, something we haven't done this year if we have to try to stop them. If we've had trouble with some power running games before and this year, and And that's what Oklahoma probably going to try to do to us. So if they do, then we have to try to do something else to counteract it if we can't stop them in the regular defenses.
Well, the festivities continue. The crowd ready for the beginning of this 47th Gator Bowl. We'll be back here to Jacksonville right after this.
That's life. That's life. That's what people say.
Life can be maddening, goofy, or downright fun, but it's never predictable. Aflac helps your family be prepared for the unpredictable. We're the expert in supplemental insurance. Our agents work to help close the gaps in your health insurance. Gaps like deductibles and co-payments. Nobody closes those gaps better than Aflac.
'Cause this old world
Life supplies the surprises.
keeps going around.
Aflac supplies the peace of mind.
Napoleon, what was your hand in the jacket? People are talking.
Josephine, my briefs are killing me.
Oh, I have just the thing.
Fruit of the loom.
Totally comfortable.
Hey, c'est magnifique, eh?
How about that waistband?
It's super comfortable, mais oui.
And that soft pre-shrunk cotton?
Feels great, down to the skin.
Ooh la la.
For classic comfort, pick Fruit of the Loom briefs.
No, leave the hat on.
At the Gator Bowl, a crowd of approximately 60,000 expected here tonight. Might be larger because the weather has turned good. We had rain and fog the last couple of days, but now just breezy, about 50 degrees. The University of Virginia, they are undefeated in their last 8 games of this season. They are 2-2 in bowls. Had never been to a bowl until George Welch got to the University of Virginia. And what a job he's done. Once again, the ACC Coach of the Year. He had a lot of players to replace coming off last year's great team. He replaced them, and they've been playing really good football. The Oklahoma Sooners were on probation for 2 years, but Gary Gibbs got them straightened out and got them back in the bowl business. There is Gary Gibbs. He has been 17 years at Oklahoma as a player and assistant coach, and now as the head coach. So the Sooners are back in the bowls. This is their 30th appearance. They have won 18. And now let's go to Craig Sager fieldside.
Well, Bob, you mentioned earlier that the field looks great, maybe from where you are. However, damp, humid weather with a heavy blanket of fog throughout the week has made the field more conducive to growing mushrooms. Both teams play their home games on artificial surface. Both complain that the field is very, very soft and spongy. The same conditions for both teams? Well, yes and no. Virginia has decided to wear the shoe with many spikes. Oklahoma has decided to use the shoe with the long spikes. Which works better? Well, according to Richard Fagan, head of the Gator Bowl, who's on this field every day, this shoe is made for this field. He gives the edge, at least in traction, to OU. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Craig Sager. We'll be joining Craig for various reports throughout the ball game. A lot of celebrities here, a lot of celebrity fathers for this Virginia team. We'll be back to the Gator Bowl after this.
'Tis the season for football. TBS huddles up to give you the best of Bert. First, he has all the right moves.
I acknowledge that.
But can he play football? Semi-tough. Then, in prison, it's not how you play the game, but whether you win or lose.
What kind of football you call that?
The longest yard. Semi-tough. Followed by the longest yard. It all begins at 8:05 Eastern Monday night on TBS.
Guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
Walt Smith was wrong, because when Muskrat Mike discovered gold, it got somewhat better. And when the Swedish bikini team came downstream, it got a little better. And when reinforcements of Old Milwaukee arrived, it most certainly got better. Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It just doesn't get any better than this.
The 1991 Gator Bowl on TBS is brought to you by Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide. And by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this.
As you take a look at the crowd here at the 47th Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, let's take a look at the conditions under which this game will be played, and they are pretty nice after a couple of days of rain and fog. 54 degrees the temperature right now. Should get down to about 40 degrees. There's a chance of a sprinkle or two, but only until about 9 o'clock tonight, 45 or 50 minutes from right now. So should be a good night for football. The wind isn't much of a factor. Virginia won the toss, will defer. Oklahoma University will receive. Number 11, Otis Taylor, the junior. They call him a touchdown about to happen on the left side. And on the right, former quarterback Tink Collins, who's a kick returner and a wide receiver, will be the return men for Oklahoma. The kickoff, Michael Husted, a junior from Hampton, Virginia. And this ball game about set to get underway from the Gator Bowl. There are only about 3,500 fans here from Oklahoma. About 12,000 have made the trek from Charlottesville and parts of Virginia, and a lot of course, Virginia alumni in this Jacksonville area. So in terms of who will be cheering for who, you'll probably hear a whole lot more cheering for Virginia tonight, or quieter, depending on whether Oklahoma gets out in front of this ball game. So we've got the running power game of Oklahoma against the balance of Virginia. Both of the defenses excellent. Oklahoma allowing 13 points a game. Virginia only 10.8. We're underway in the 47th Gator Bowl. Tink Collins lets it go out of the end zone, and Oklahoma will open up the offense from the 20-yard line. This is Cale Gundy. He is a sophomore, 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, a better thrower than he is a runner, and he runs an option attack, kind of a wishbone, minus the triple option, out of an I formation. And Tim will tell you a whole lot more about that as we take a look at this game. And you're going to see Gaddis, the tailback, and two good fullbacks, Kenyon Rashid, 33, and 31, Mike McKinley, carrying the load in the backfield for the Oklahoma Sooners. They average 30.5 points per game. Gaddis goes in motion. Gundy throwing on the first down. It is incomplete. A short hopper intended for Mike Gaddis. Mike had only 5 receptions all year long. There's Mike Gaddis, 1,240 yards, 14 touchdowns. Not a lot of passing in the Oklahoma attack. They say they may throw more tonight. And Joey Mickey, the tight end, weighs 270 pounds. And yes, he can block. Brian Broniger heads the offensive line for Oklahoma. The tackles very excellent at making adjustments on the defense, and they'll have that opportunity here tonight. On the second down, 10 Gundy. Gaddis, left side. To the 27.5-yard line, Tyrone Lewis, the free safety, making the stop for the University of Virginia defensive football team. Cavaliers allowing only 10.8 points per ball game. They have given up some big rushing games during the year. Chris Slade leads the team in tackles, a junior from Tabb, Virginia. At the defensive end, Eugene Rogers is the emotional leader of the team. He calls the signals on defense, and a man who will be very busy, Keith Lyle, the strong safety, will have to come up and make a lot of plays against Oklahoma tonight. Third down, 2 Sooners. Gundy to the air. It is complete to Albert Hall, the true freshman from Bay City, Texas, and it is enough for a Sooners first down.
And there you go. I was talking to offensive coordinator Larry Coker before the game, and he said, Tim, we've been trying to open up the offense for the past 4 weeks of the season, but it's snowing, it's slush, it's everything. We just couldn't do it. He said, tonight we're going to put the ball in the air a little bit and display some of this balance that we've been talking about all year. And here you see, 2 out of 3, the ball's in the air.
At the 31-yard line, Oklahoma opening moments from the Gator Bowl. The play fake, Gundy throwing on the roll. Wide open is the big tight end, Joey Mickey, and he's out across the 43 to another first down. Gene Tolliver made the stop, a gain of 14 yards, and you're witnessing air Oklahoma.
This is the air attack here. Nice little play fake inside. Good job by Gundy selling it, and Mickey's going out in the flat. Now you're a defensive back. You see this guy, 270 pounds. I knew he was going to catch one before the day was over. Joey Mickey. Maybe the biggest tight end in the country.
He only had 13 catches all year. There's the pump fake going long. Incomplete. They were looking for the true freshman, Albert Hall. Gundy's a good passer, even though he's a sophomore. He just hadn't had that much opportunity. He threw
8 touchdown passes this year, 52% completion.
His brother was a record-setting quarterback at Oklahoma State. His coach at Oklahoma State was Larry Coker. Well, Larry Coker, of course, now has come from Oklahoma State to coordinate this offense in OU, coaching Cale. And you're right, Bob. I think he's got a lot of poise. He just really hasn't had the climate recently to display what he can do.
Second down 10 from the 44-yard line. Pitch to Gaddis. They try the power game to the left side. Look at his running ability. Gaddis gets about 9 yards inside Virginia territory. Tyrone Lewis had to come up and make the play after Greg McClellan missed a tackle on big Mike Gaddis. He is 6'2", 225.
We're going to start out here at number 85 for Virginia, Chris Slade, the All-American. Look how Gaddis sets this up. He's playing two-gap now. He commits inside. Mickey takes him inside, and Gaddis scoots outside. Look at those moves. Great running by the all-Big 8 back from Midwest City, Oklahoma, Mike Gaddis.
Third down 1. They hand it off to Rashid, the fullback. I don't know if he got it. It'll be very, very close, and that was a third down play. Gundy is signaling to his bench that they got it, but by my view here, it's going to be very close. It's not a first down. They'll have to punt it away.
Don Reynolds, number 94, doing a nice job of shedding the blocker and making the stop on Rashid.
Here's Larry Holmes about to take the punt here from Brad Riddell. Larry Holmes takes the line drive. Fair catches it at the 14. So Oklahoma moves it, throwing the football, but then they run into a wall called the Virginia defense, and the Cavaliers ready to go on offense.
It's Sears' biggest fitness sale. Walk, jog, or run with this 1¼ horsepower Lifestyler treadmill with auto incline and save big. Introductory price, just $499.99. Hurry, offer ends soon at Sears.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus. So now you can relieve your cold and cough together. Introducing Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough medicine. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
Not very pretty, but an effective 33-yard punt from Brad Riddell, and Virginia will start inside their 15-yard line. And here is Matt Blunden, ACC Player of the Year, 6'7", 235, played basketball for Virginia also. This is his first season to run things, had to replace Sean Moore, a Heisman Trophy candidate who left Virginia last year, and he threw 19 touchdown passes, 1,900 yards. Notice, no interceptions on the season. On the first down from the 14-yard line. The play fake. Under pressure. Strong arm. Incomplete on the first down pass from the 14. Good pressure from Reggie Barnes. Let's take a look at the Virginia offensive lineup. Terry Kirby leads this team in receiving and rushing all ACC, and he shares time in the backfield with Nicky Fisher. Gary Steele and Dave Sweeney play at fullback. Tyrone Davis, Larry Holmes, very effective receivers, and Aaron Mundy is the second leading receiver on the team with 31 catches and 5 touchdowns. Ray Roberts, All-American, 6'7", 300 pounds. What more do you need to say about the left side of that line for Virginia? On second down 10. Tailback out to the 20-yard line. Terry Kirby, about 5 yards. The Sooners defense, they led their conference in defense, and you can see why shortly. Reggie Barnes, 9 sacks on the season, 25 career sacks, and they can stop the run pretty well too. The linebackers, some people think they may be the best 2 in America. Joe Bowden is an All-American. Chris Wilson is All-Conference. Jason Belser is the leader back there as a senior in the secondary. That secondary has intercepted 20 passes this year. Third down 5. They give it to Kirby. First down. He was hit by Joe Bowden and then got forward past the 25 for the first down.
A couple interesting things in this series, Bob. Offensive coordinator Tom O'Brien for Virginia says they have not started only but one game in the last 10 years that they started with the pass, and they came out and threw it against Oklahoma. Good job of running by Terry Kirby. Slides through Joe Bowden to get the first down.
Virginia in that I formation. They put Aaron Munday over on the left side now, the tight end, number 89. He's an excellent receiver. Holmes comes in motion. They give it to Kirby. Try the middle. Not this time. Bowden and Barnes combine for the stop.
In the white hat with the V, Tom O'Brien out of Cincinnati. Went to St. X High School there in Cincinnati. He played at Navy for 3 years, starter. And he's calling the plays. Been with George Welsh for 16 years. And he said, I finally got my driver's license. I get to call the plays. Of course, standing next to him on his right, a headset, that's Ken Mack, former great running back at North Carolina.
2nd down 8 from the 28-yard line. Scoreless game early in the first quarter. 47th Gator Bowl. Blunden in the pocket. Overshoots everybody. Intended for 82 Tyrone Davis, and that's a rarity because this is an accurate passer, as witnessed by the fact that he has thrown no interceptions. And this is a good time to talk about that. Why has this man gone through the season 224 passes this year without an interception? How's he done it?
Well, from what the coaches say, that he is very patient, and he plays within his limits. He doesn't try to force the ball. If he can't get it in there, he'll dump it off. Very intelligent, very well coached, and he takes it seriously. Studies a lot, and I think he's used to the pressure from starting as a basketball player also.
Out of the shotgun formation. Screens it out to the left side. Actually, a flare pass to the left side. There was no screen there, and Terry Kirby goes down at the 32-yard line. Short of the first down, and Virginia will have to give up the football. So defense dominating early in this ballgame.
There you see George Welsh. His team this year led the ACC in scoring offense and defense. First time since 1980 when North Carolina did it. Of course, the first time ever for Virginia. George Welsh is associated with a lot of first-time evers for Virginia.
Punter is Ed Garno. He's all conference. Averages 42 yards a punt. This is Otis. Touchdown about to happen. Taylor. A tackle about to happen at the 34-yard line. He was hit first by Brendan Kilfeather. A punt of 37, a return of 3 yards.
There's something special about driving a Daihatsu from Japan. Whether it's the reliability, high mileage, and comfort of our affordable Daihatsu Charades, or the versatile performance of our rocky wide-track 4x4 with the widest track in its class, you'll feel like the whole town is going to light up and really take notice. It's how we make them. Daihatsu.
It was called by many the greatest Gator Bowl. Archie Manning, broken arm and all, gave one of the most courageous performances of his career, running for 95 yards and throwing for 180 more. However, the Auburn offense had the arsenal of Heisman Trophy winner Pat Sullivan and his favorite target, Terry Beasley. The Tigers were left standing at the final bell, winning it 35-28. Back to 1991, the waning moments of 1991. 9 minutes, 31 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Scoreless ball game from the Gator Bowl. Oklahoma, first down from their 34. The play fake. Gundy to throw on the run to Rashid. To the 43-yard line comes Kenyon Rashid. They say he's a tailback playing fullback. He's the best receiver out of the backfield.
And the heftiest looking tailback I've ever seen if he's a tailback playing football.
Maybe he says that.
Right, yeah, this is his second reception of the season. And here we go, another first down pass, slides out there in the flat, and Keith Lau comes up and plasters him, but that doesn't faze Rashid. He keeps his feet and keeps going.
You see, he's 5'10", maybe he's tailback height. He's fullback weight, that's for sure. Second down 3 from the 42. Gaddis. First down, Oklahoma to the 47-yard line.
There's Rick Lance with the headset on and the jacket with the orange sleeves. And Rick coached at Miami. He's coached at Navy, Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and most recently he was with Louisville. When he went there, they were 106th in the nation on defense. When he left, they were 6th. And he has converted this Virginia defense from a 5-2 to a 4-3. And he and Mike Archer and the other defensive coaches here at Virginia have just done a fantastic job.
Gundy 4 out of 5 for 26 yards passing the ball. He's throwing it again. It's complete. Corey Warren to the 22-yard line. A gain of 30 yards. Gundy to Warren. You know, Gundy said he was going to throw the ball a lot. Virginia coaches said he's blowing a lot of smoke. They're going to run it. Not so.
It's a quick pass. You're going to see Lyle come up to support the run. Gundy coming down the line of scrimmage. That opens up the lane in behind him. McClellan running with him, trying to stay up. Lewis bites up inside, and now Greg McClellan has to put on the jets to try to bring down Warren from behind.
First down from the 24. Now on the draw, Gaddis. Inside the 20. Gaddis inside the 15-yard line. Near the first down marker. He was finally stopped by linebacker P.J. Killian. Gain of 9 yards on the carry by Mike Gaddis. Well, if you can loosen up a defense passing the ball and then can run it like Oklahoma, you got trouble.
And that's exactly what Gary Gibbs thinks. And that's why he brought Larry Coker in. Of course, Larry Coker came in when Jim Donnan went to Marshall. And Coker came over from Oklahoma State. And this is the offense that they're talking about. More balance.
Second down 1. Gaddis tries the middle. Nice stutter step to the 11-yard line. First down, Oklahoma.
I was talking to the running back coach, Mike Jones, and he's been here for a number of years, since 1979. And I asked him, can you teach your running back moves? And he said, well, you really don't teach him moves, but you try to teach him. And what Gary Gibbs knows you try to teach him is the concept of the blocking scheme, where your help is going to come from, what to look for, and it helps you be able to better anticipate where the holes are going to be.
Sixth play of the drive for Oklahoma. First and 10 from the 11. They try the middle. Driving to the 6-yard line is Gaddis. He was tackled again by P.J. Killian. Virginia's had trouble with strong running games this year. If they've had any trouble defensively, it's been in that area.
It happened, well, early on. Georgia Tech ran for over 300 yards. Clemson ran for over 300 yards. And you're right. They've accumulated a lot of yards, but where this defense has been very effective has been keeping people out of the end zone. You know, they've only had 26 points scored on them in the last 5 games.
That was Rashid, by the way, on the carry. Second down 4 from the 5. Here is Gaddis. Stopped short of the goal line, and a penalty marker is down.
I think we got the tight end moving here. That's what it looked like anyway. On the right side.
There's motion on the offense.
Joe Ryder, the referee, the man in the white hat, he heads a crew of Big East officials for this Big 8 ACC matchup. Big penalty. That would have been a first down and goal.
Watch the tight end there. Watch the tight end. He gets a little anxious. Oop! You know, just a split second too surly. Too surly? That's kind of like early and soon put together.
I think surly works.
You know, he's probably pretty surly too.
A split second too surly is perfect. I like it. This will bring up second down 9 as they bring it just outside the 10-yard line now. 6:13 to go in the first quarter. Oklahoma threatening scoreless ball game at the Gator Bowl. Oklahoma 5 out of 6 for 56 yards passing the ball. They've only rushed for 39. The play fake, Gundy over the middle, touchdown to the big tight end Joe Mickey, his second touchdown reception of the year.
Gundy, he sells it tight end, releasing up the field. He got to get help underneath from the linebackers. Lewis can't get there in time. Touchdown.
The point after is good. Oklahoma has taken a 7-0 lead with 5:52 to go in the first quarter. They've done it through the air.
Hoosier sensation Vaughn Dunbar drives Indiana against the Big Bad Bears of Baylor. A New Year's Eve tradition. The Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl. Live at 8 Eastern Tuesday night, exclusively on TBS.
Smooth operator is together naturally. He knows Schlitz malt liquor means quality. Everybody checks him out when he's on the scene. He's got quality taste, you know what I mean. The quality alone is not the groove. Along with it, he's got mellow and smooth. A deaf combo, the originator, is known to all as smooth operator. But when you're after the best, don't settle for less. No one does it like a smooth operator. No one does it like the bull. Schlitz malt liquor bull.
Get the inside track from today's top coaches and a sneak peek at the USA Today poll on College Coaches Corner, beginning next Sunday, 11 Eastern on CNN.
Oklahoma completing 6 out of 7 passes, throws for the touchdown, and leads 7-0 with 5:52 to go in the first quarter.
And here you have Joe Mickey, and he just kind of slips out here. Linebackers caught up by the run fake. Nobody can get here in time, and Cale Gundy sells the fake, pops it in there, touchdown. Nice play, fine execution. Joe Mickey catches his second touchdown pass of the year. How about that? 270 pounds, slam dunk, boom.
And how about this? That's only the second touchdown pass allowed by Virginia.
That's exactly right. All year long, Virginia had only allowed 1 touchdown pass. Very effective in the secondary all year long, and Cale Gundy play past them. But what made it work, Bob, was their ability to run the football. You know, you got to be concerned about the run.
On your screen there, number 20 is Larry Holmes. Number 22, Gerard Washington. Holmes, the wide receiver. Gerard Washington, a backup defensive back. They are both excellent kick returners. Holmes averages 18.5 yards per return, and Gerard Washington 26 yards per return. You see the punter, Brad Riddell, handles the kickoffs for Oklahoma. Their true freshman kicker, Scott Blanton, has been hurt all year with a hip flexor. So the kicking game has not been in great shape for the Sooners. Riddell brings it down to the 16-yard line. That is Gerard Washington. Out to the 30. Decent field position for the Cavaliers as they trail by a score of 7-0 here with 5 minutes 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Tom O'Brien with some offensive instructions for the quarterback, Matt Blunden. Matt Blunden tonight so far is only 1 out of 3 for 4 yards.
The night is young, Bob. Been a consistent performer all year long. Doesn't do great things, just does everything well.
Nicky Fisher in a tailback. They hand it to the fullback. That's Gary Steele. Not much, a yard or 2, and that's all for Virginia. George Wells still likes to establish the run.
There's no question about that, Bob. He is cut from the old cloth, as you might say, and you know, takes his football very seriously as Joe Bowden stares toward the sideline to get a signal. Up until 1985, George Welsh called all his own plays on offense and on defense. Very, very involved in the play calling and the concept.
On the second down 8, Blunden under pressure. Incomplete. Good pressure coming on Blunden. The Oklahoma crowd wanted an intentional grounding. Penalty marker is down on the play.
Looks like it's going to be a personal foul over on the sideline.
As I said, it's a Big East officiating crew. The good quarterback pressure came from Reggie Barnes, the sack leader on this Oklahoma defense.
There's a dead ball. Personal foul on the defense.
Well, you saw it, Tim Foley, and that'll be a big gain, the biggest gain of the game so far for Virginia. Gary Gibbs not happy with the call.
Let's watch it again. As you said, good pressure by Barnes. Look at how quickly he gets around the outside. Ball falls incomplete, out of bounds. Oh, whoa. Terry Ray's feet got caught up, and you just saw the back end of that. That might have been a flag, but they'll review that. So hard to see everything, but that certainly didn't look intentional.
Gives Virginia a first down way out to the 46-yard line. The play fake. London still trying to get uncranked, and finally does. First down pass reception goes to Larry Holmes at the 38-yard line. Holmes is a 5'9", 180-pound sophomore from Washington, D.C., a defensive back the first 2 games of this season.
So number 20, he was as a true freshman, he played wide receiver. They needed some help on defense because they graduated 3 starters in the secondary. He was a good enough athlete to come in there and help, but when then injuries struck the receiving corps, they called him back.
Here's the fumble. It's recovered by Oklahoma at the 24-yard line. Reggie Barnes. Nicky Fisher coughed it up. Oklahoma ball.
Nicky Fisher gets some room here. Sees the hole. Fights in there and just the ball gets torn away by Chris Wilson. It looked like Chris Wilson was the first one in there to knock it out, number 30. Corey Mayfield obviously came up with the ball.
Came on at number 46, the nose guard. But it was definitely Chris Wilson, the linebacker, who raked it loose from Nicky Fisher. And Oklahoma, leading 7-0 with 4:42 to go in the first quarter, takes over the ball at the 24. Oklahoma plus 15 in giveaway takeaways. Big, strong, Big 8 football team, as is traditional between Colorado, Nebraska, Oklahoma. Some real power out there in the Big 8 this year, which is nobody's news. Air Gundy going upstairs again, deep for Hall, incomplete at the 33-yard line. Tyrone Lewis covering.
No question about it. They're trying to back him off, Bob. This for the 1991 season. But he may throw it 90 times tonight. A great job by Tyrone Lewis of knocking Albert Hall off as he ran a curl and go pattern.
Gundy is 6 out of 8 for 66 yards so far tonight. That was Chris Slade who knifed through from the right side. He will of course say that he saw movement and thus made the defensive penetration. Beautiful evening for football. We expected really bad weather tonight, so good news for the weather.
Dead ball, offsides on the defense.
That'll be against Chris Slade, who jumped offside number 85. Slade, that defensive leader at right end out of Tab, Virginia. George Wells, the disciplinarian. You take a look at this Virginia team when they practice and get ready, and this is a team that is, among all other things, highly disciplined.
You're never going to see George smile much. Every once in a while they catch him in a picture a couple times a year. Get a smile on his face, but he is intense.
On 2nd down 5, Gundy waits at the Hall, who is drilled by number 17, Greg Jeffries. Let's go to the sidelines to Craig Sager.
Well, thank you, Bob. Not actually on the sidelines, but under the stands. The Boomer Sooner tradition after touchdown to take the field. Remember the penalty they got in the '85 Orange Bowl against Washington. Very costly penalty, 15 yards. The Boomer Sooner schooner was banned for a year because of that fiasco. However, tonight they've been grounded as well because of the field, the sloppy conditions, the slow turf. They've been told, Boomer and Sooner, the same Shetland ponies that were out there in the Orange Bowl in that game in 1985, that they'll have to remain under the stands. Bob?
All you had to say is giddy up and you're out here. Come on, bring them on out here. Cale Gundy keeps it on the short yardage situation, and that'll give Oklahoma a first down. Gary Gibbs, a linebacker at Oklahoma, 17 years on the staff, and he's really made a turnaround on a program that was really in a lot of trouble 3 years ago. Air Force leading Mississippi State in the Liberty Bowl in Memphis tonight in the first quarter.
Cale Gundy, I wonder if his arm's getting tired.
He said all week long, I'm going to throw it. I mean, he told everybody he was. Nobody believed him. Well, you can believe him now. Another first down at midfield to the 49-yard line. That pass was completed to Ted Long, the Z-back, as they call him in the Oklahoma scheme. Ted's a senior from Waco, caught 24 balls this year.
You know, watch this. He got a double zone look on the outside here. And you see Keith Lyle come to the middle of the field anticipating this move. Long wisely hooks up. Gundy rolls to the strong side, finds him, and delivers the ball on time before anybody can get there.
We were watching them practice yesterday. It looked like they were in the 2-minute drill. As it turns out, this is the Oklahoma offense. First down 10 from the 49, and a timeout is called by Cale Gundy. One thing about Virginia's defensive team, they can adjust, and we'll talk about that in just a moment.
There's something special about driving a Daihatsu from Japan. Whether it's the reliability, high mileage, and comfort of our affordable Daihatsu Charades, or the versatile performance of our rocky wide-track 4x4 with the widest track in its class, you'll feel like the whole town is going to light up and really take notice. It's how we make them. Daihatsu.
When people volunteer to make a difference, anything's possible. And the PGA Tour has been proving it for over 50 years. With its tournaments and players and some 55,000 volunteers, the PGA Tour raises more than $24 million each year to help local charities. 55,000 points of light, proving that when you volunteer to make a difference, anything's possible.
Whoa. Ow. Well, you see why Michael Husted is a kicker at Virginia and not a golfer. Also a good thing that all the camera persons at the Turner Broadcasting System have to be hard-headed. That was right between the eyes, but our videographer is okay.
Who covers the disability insurance here, huh?
I knew you'd laugh because it was a kicker.
It just reminds me of me.
Oops. First down 10 from the 49-yard line. Oklahoma leading 7-0. 3:24 to go first quarter. Hand off Gaddis. Tries the middle. Stutter step gets him to the 45-yard line. And we were talking about Virginia adjusting. It's hard to think about it after that wide to the right golf shot.
And they do a great job in adjusting. Watch number 71, Jeff Ressler. Look at this guy work. Good. Turns him, gets quickly to the outside there. One thing you're going to notice about him, he's only got one hand. And lost his hand a week after he was born to an infection, and has just become a premier offensive lineman, and just with that one good hand.
Redshirt freshman, Edmond, Oklahoma. Gundy. It is caught again by Ted Long. I jokingly said we were watching the practice and it looked like a 2-minute offense. This is exactly yesterday the kind of offensive patterns that were being run. Quick step drop, quick throws by Oklahoma.
And I think that Virginia, obviously, if I was Virginia, I'd been more concerned about them running the ball right at me. I think I'd have to stop that and then force them to throw the ball. But Oklahoma's taken a more ambitious approach to the game plan, decided to just open it up from the very beginning to back them off.
First down from the 33. The handoff goes to Gaddis. Look at his speed. To the 17-yard line, Greg McClellan made the tackle. In 1989, Gaddis tore up his knee. They thought his career was over. Great rehabilitation program. You see that his quickness is still there.
His quickness is there, and his ability to see the hole. Great job by Paul Moriarty. Opens it up, and here he goes. Breaks to the outside on Lyle, and You know, run around me, Mike. I'm there to block for you. But he gets nailed by McClellan. Mike Gaddis. He just looks like a guy about to explode when he gets the football.
53 yards already. First down 10 from the 18-yard line. This time Virginia's defense stops him at the line of scrimmage. It was Kenyon Rashid, the fullback, with the carry that time, number 33.
Well, Rick Lance came in here along with Mike Archer, and of course they already had Art Marcos and Danny Wilmer and Bob Petchel here on the coaching staff, and they had to replace 8 starters. They really had to go to work. They went from a 5-2 to a 4-3. They didn't have the players they felt they could play a big, strong 2-gap, so they wanted to give their players an opportunity to penetrate and move around. Use their intelligent and their athletic ability, since they didn't have a lot of size, and they have been very successful all year long.
Gaddis goes in motion. Second down 10. Gundy fires it across the middle, short of the first down to Corey Warren. They'll drop him at about the 9-yard line, Greg Jeffries. So it will be short yardage play inside the 10. Warren, the leading receiver on this Oklahoma team.
Now he's a converted defensive back also, as Larry Holmes was on Virginia. Played a little bit last year as a true freshman wide receiver, and as you mentioned, led the team in receiving this year.
Third down 2. You see the Z-back. That's long in motion. I formation. Gaddis cuts to the outside, spins to the 3-yard line. First down and goal, Sooners leading 7-0 with under a minute remaining in the first quarter.
Let's watch this Oklahoma offensive line work. You see Jeff Resser coming around there, getting the trap block. Gaddis, you just can't get a good shot at him. You know, the signs of a great running back. Just never can square up on him. He's also got some power, so if you don't stay too light-footed, he may run you over.
Rashid and Gaddis and Long. That's Long in motion. Gaddis stopped at about the 2-yard line. 15 seconds and counting remaining in the first quarter. Don't know if the Sooners will get a playoff before that clock goes down. I doubt that they will, and they'll walk all the way down to the other end, threatening. But after one quarter of play, Oklahoma is leading it 7-0. Oklahoma 10 of 12 for 101 yards and 1 touchdown, passing the football.
The world's first dynamo was invented by Werner Siemens in 1866. It began the revolution that brought electricity to everyone. That was then. This is now. The generation, distribution, and control of energy are at the heart of Siemens today, where you work, live, and play. And with 35,000 people at work nationwide, Siemens is leading the way into the next century. Siemens, precision thinking.
The 1991 Gator Bowl is brought to you by Siemens. For leading-edge technologies in electronic and electrical engineering depend on Siemens precision thinking.
Well, this Oklahoma offense really moving the ball, leading 7-0 after one quarter, but threatening again. I'm still looking for the tough answer, Coach Foley, to that Virginia adjustment to this excellent air game that Oklahoma's throwing out.
Well, you've got a lot of adjustments that you can make, but it comes down to players too. And you know, you can sell out now to stop in the pass. They'll run the ball at you, so you just have to slowly move and disguise your adjustment, but they'll get it done.
So right now, Oklahoma leading at 7-0. This will be the first play of the second quarter. And it will be second down and goal at the 2-yard line as the teams conclude their long walk. Rashid and Gaddis back there. They give it to Gaddis. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Right over the middle. Wrestler on the right, Moriarty on the left, Randy Wallace the center. And Mike Gaddis takes it into the end zone. The first rushing touchdown for the Sooners. And they take an early lead of 13-0 with a point after coming up on the first play of the second quarter.
George Welsh certainly not liking what he's seeing right now, and you know, talking to Danny Wilmer there.
Point after is good. It's 14-0 Oklahoma.
Let's look at this play again and watch this offensive line work for Oklahoma. Wrestler 71. Good block down by Houston. They're trapping it inside. Moriarty coming over, and Gaddis basically going in on his standing up. Untouched. Fine job by the Oklahoma offensive line. And there's a young man that could have been in the Heisman Trophy competition a couple of years ago, that has fought his way back, and through hard work and discipline, he has really stated something, I think. And sometimes an injury like Gaddis had will end your career. But Mike fought his way back, and you know, should be real proud of himself. 12 plays, 75 yards. Good mix of the run and pass, and there's the balance that Gary Gibbs has been talking about and Larry Coker was talking about. It's much easier to stop an offense if they're just trying to do one thing to you. In the past, traditionally, Oklahoma has just tried to do one thing. Turn your head sideways and stick the ball through the ear hole, you know, and that's what they've done very successfully.
George Welch trying to decide what to do. We're talking about the defensive adjustments. One adjustment needs to be made by Virginia. That is to control the ball, to get something going offensively. As you look at Holmes and Washington back to take the kickoff here. Only 20 yards passing, only 28 yards rushing so far for Virginia in this football game. So definitely the Cavaliers need to get drive mounted. They average 28.5 points per game during the regular season. They've been shut out thus far here in the Gator Bowl. Washington to the 27-yard line. So Matt Blunden will come out. He is 2 of 5 for only 20 yards. As we say, they can't get anything untracked running the football. The last time that Fisher came in to spell Kirby at tailback, Nicky Fisher coughed it up, and that led to the long drive by Oklahoma and their second touchdown of the game.
Well, that's been quite a tandem for them at the I-back position, Bob. It's just been an extraordinary success. Those guys running together have run for over 1,545 yards. They've averaged over 5 yards a carry. Fisher and Kirby.
Now they have Sweeney and Kirby in the backfield. Sweeney the fullback. Holmes in motion. Blunden. Time to throw. Going deep. Incomplete, almost picked off there at the last minute down at the 25-yard line. Intended for Tyrone Davis, their speedy, true freshman wideout. He's a big guy, 6'5", 200 pounds, and as you see, can get deep.
Darnell Walker running right with him. Great touch by Matt Blunden, right on the money. Puts it downfield. Tyrone Davis, who did not play football till his senior year in high school, should have made this catch. It would have been a nice catch, but the ball was there. Darnell Walker arrives to disturb his concentration, and finally Charles Franks gets there to try to pick it off before it hits the ground.
Good closing speed from Walker. 4.47.40 for that young man. Second down, 10 from the 27. And off Kirby. Kirby across the 30-yard line. Gain of about 3.5. Russell Allen with the stop for Oklahoma.
Defensive coordinator here at Oklahoma since Charlie Sadler took the head job at Northern Illinois is a young man named Tom Hayes, who most recently was with UCLA for 7 years as a defensive coordinator, then went for Texas A&M for a couple of years. And Tom was an Iowa Hawkeye. Played a secondary for Iowa 67 through 70. He's got to be happy with the way his defense is performing this afternoon, or this evening.
Third down, 6 from the 31 for Virginia. Out of the shotgun, Blunden. He's 6'7", pretty good feet, throwing on the run. Short hops it, incomplete. Cavaliers once again are 3 downs and out, and they'll have to punt it away.
As
Oklahoma defense led their conference in defense, ranked 6th nationally. That's one of the reasons. 41 is Mike Coates. He was the man with the quarterback pressure on Matt Blunden.
Well, they led the Big 8 in rushing defense, passing efficiency defense, scoring defense, turnover margins, interceptions, total defense, about every category. They did pretty good.
Otis Taylor back to take the Garneau punt. Taylor's going to fair catch it at the 36-yard line. Once again, Oklahoma will have good field position. 13:53 to go in the first half. A 33-yard punt.
This is Control. Go ahead.
We've got trouble.
What's the point of origin?
Japan.
Stand by. I'm patching you through to Command Center.
We've got to find it.
We'll have it tomorrow.
Tomorrow's too late.
You inform headquarters.
They're working on it. Hold on. You've got something. Quick, check the vehicle ID number.
That's it.
With more parts for more import cars than anybody else.
We got it.
Napa is a domestic solution to an international problem.
While the beauty and elegance of a Jaguar are obvious, its extensive range of safety features is not. And yet no other car in its class has a lower injury claim rate, according to the latest study by the Highway Loss Data Institute. The 1992 Jaguar, the best Jaguar ever built, backed by the best warranty Jaguar has ever offered. For the name of your nearest Jaguar dealer, call toll-free.
There you see Tom Hayes, the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma, talking to his players, and then that young man that's yawning on the left is his son, Andy. I've heard all this before. 13-year-old young quarterback that carries the cord for his dad during the game.
Reminds me of Tommy Foley, who's in the booth with us. He yawns when you're doing this. Tommy, better get a message there. First down 10 from the 36-yard line. Oklahoma leading at 14-0. Virginia trying to find a solution to Air Gundy. That's one solution, is to hand it off. Gaddis hit in the backfield, and some cheers, some of the few cheers for Virginia early in this ball game. Might mention, we watched the Oklahoma-Nebraska game, the video of that to study for this ball game, and Oklahoma had a lead on Nebraska. Now, that was in some very bad weather, but they lost that lead, eventually lost the ball game. So exactly. Oklahoma's lost leads before and recently.
And that play was by Matt Quigley, a young man out of Miami from Columbus High School, who was kind of the emotional leader, just a hardcore, rock'em sock'em, bite you in the leg kind of guy.
Second down 11, Gundy. It is complete out to the 40-yard line. Nice diving catch there was made by Mickey, the tight end. I'll tell you what, he has excellent mobility for a 270-pounder.
I would hate to see him turn upfield. You know, Gary Gibbs made a comment about last year we decided to throw and catch more, and we got the throw part, but we weren't doing so well on the catch. And, well, they haven't even come close to dropping one tonight. Perfect on the reception end of it, and the receivers coach here, of course, is Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator.
Cale Gundy, 106 yards. He said he was going to throw it 30 times tonight. We all laughed. He's on the way to it. It's complete again. That is Corey Warren to the 15-yard line. A gain of 45 yards. That's 151 yards in the air for Cale Gundy in this game tonight.
Great job by Warren, and a ball thrown right on time. You're going to see Warren cut to the inside. He kept it wide to keep the throw away from the free safety and made the catch, avoided the tackle, and picked up some good after the catch yardage.
First down at the 16-yard line. It is complete at the 10-yard line to number 1, Albert Hall. Let's have a look at that big play again.
Okay, here we go. You're going to see the curl here, and this guy just running a little zone route here to try to hold this back out. And then watch Warren keep it wide. He's lined up wide. Cornerback backpedaling on the outside, breaks to the inside, and boom. Ball thrown right on time. Tyrone Lewis is usually going to make that tackle. He misses. Good hustle by the Cavaliers secondary to get back to stop that from being a score.
This is 2nd down 4, long in motion. McKinley and Gaddis in the backfield. Gaddis left side. He is dropped by Eugene Rogers, the middle linebacker, short of the 1st down at about the 8-yard line. Gaddis with 65 yards rushing tonight.
Something's got to happen on defense. George Welsh knows that. I mean, he was 3rd in the Heisman Trophy voting 1955. Somebody's got to make a play here. The defense needs a turnover. Maybe it's going to be Eugene Rogers. He's the middle linebacker. It's going to be a defensive back. Somebody's got to cause something to happen. Right now, they're on the receiving end of the punishment.
Good end zone view of the powerful Oklahoma team. You see the eye, and then the man who goes into motion is called the Z-back. He's really kind of a slot back. Gaddis right down to the 1-yard line. They say he got in for the touchdown. Oklahoma touchdown, their 3rd touchdown of this game, and we have 11 minutes 20 seconds to go in the 1st half. About 230 yards of offense has been put up against this highly ranked Virginia defensive football team.
Merv Johnson and Charlie North, the offensive line coaches for Oklahoma, have to be proud of their boys because they are clearing people out of the way. Good effort here by Gaddis to get in. Frederick closes the hole. Good support there, and pow. Tyrone Lewis hits him. Keith Lyle is there. You make the call, Bob. Looked like he landed a little short, but
they've put the 6 on the board.
This is not what you want in a shave. Now you've got the edge. This is the shave with 6 rich lubricants. This is the shave that reduces irritation. This is the shave. For less irritation, you've got the edge. Edge, proud sponsor of the NBA Most Valuable Player Award.
The 1991 Gator Bowl is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts, and by Extra Strength Tylenol Gel Caps. For everyday pain, nothing works better.
see the center Randy Wallace, 71, Jeff Ressler, 64, Paul Moriarty on the right side. You got Brandon Houston out there, and good block by Moriarty. Clean Rogers out. And
on the replay, it looks like as though Gaddis is down, but had the whistle not sounded, his playing to the goal line. His knees down before the ball went over. Might have been academic, however. It would have been first and goal from pretty darn close.
6 plays, 64 yards. Again, another nice mix.
Holmes, 20. Gerard Washington, number 22. Looking for a big play on special teams. Virginia looking for big anything in this game. From the 3, this is Holmes. Holmes to the 20 and down. So thus far, only 20 yards passing, only 32 yards running for Virginia. Gaddis with 2 touchdowns and 73 yards. He's outgained the entire Virginia team so far, passing and running.
I think he's certainly upping the price of his stock right now, as far as I'm concerned. A very talented back that has displayed the discipline to deal with injuries and come back strong.
NFL scouts in attendance here tonight. NFL scouts have some interest in Matt Blunden, even though this is only the 12th game of his career. He played hardly at all when Sean Moore was there. Missed 2 games to injury this year. Here is Kirby. And a quick opener gets him across the 25. Reggie Barnes with the tackle. But some pro people believe Blunden, because he's 6'7", 235, and has displayed certainly the intelligence to play pro football, might be an NFL draft choice.
Right. He's not going to be a first or second rounder probably, but he may go in the third or fourth round. It'll give him time to mature and learn, and there's no question about it. He has the poise and the character to lead a football team. He's certainly demonstrated that this year.
Second down 5 from the 25. Virginia trying to get something going offensively. Penalty markers come in from the secondary. Joe Bowden stops Terry Kirby. Bowden, the All-American linebacker for the Sooners, number 45. Joe Ryder, the referee tonight.
There's holding on the offense.
There's Tom O'Brien on the left, line coach, and he's the guy that George Welsh sent out to try to form their offenses to the talent that they have. He's the guy that really researched the option when they had Mikowski here, and the drop back pass when Sequels changes, when Scott Sequels was here. And very, very knowledgeable in total offense. There's some guys that just stay in their position. They understand their position, but they don't understand the concept of offense or defense. Tom O'Brien, very, very knowledgeable in all areas of the game.
That penalty will make it second down 14, back to the 16-yard line. Out of the slot left, Blunden needs something in the air. That one kind of rose on him. He tried to hit 6'6" tight end Aaron Mundy. Darnell Walker there to break it up. Certainly Blunden has not been extra sharp passing the ball thus far. His statistics only 2 of 8 for 20 yards. The ball seems to be rising on him.
Monday caught 8 passes in the opener, played a lot last year when Bruce McConnell went down, who's now with the Cleveland Browns. And he had the route. It was there. And you're right, that ball should be thrown lower, more to the outside, and the big man could have walled off Darnell Walker, who made a nice play on the ball.
Third down 14. Blunden with pressure. That ball came loose. Oklahoma's on it. They say it was covered by Virginia. Oklahoma was on it momentarily, so Virginia will at least get a chance to punt the ball away, coming away with it as an offensive lineman.
Trey Tippins, he's smiling like it was him.
David Ware was the man who covered the fumble. Otis Taylor will take the Ed Garneau punt. Oklahoma's got 10 men on the line. They got it. Touchdown Sooners on the block punt. It was Russell Jones, number 6.
That's the running back coach's son, Bob. Russell Jones is Mike Jones' son. Charlie Dorr coaches the special teams, and he's happy to see that, I'm sure.
Well, Keith Collins came in and blocked it. And then Russell Jones got it in the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Oklahoma, and the route is underway. Now penalty marker is down as the teams line up for the point after. The flag came definitely after the Oklahoma touchdown. There's a possibility of extra celebrations or something of that nature that sometimes happen. Big East officials, Joe Ryder, the referee.
Dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct on White.
Could have been some extra exuberance on the part of Oklahoma, but exuberant you might be if you were leading 27-0, about to go up 28-0 in a game in which Virginia was favored.
Gary Gibbs certainly happy about his team's performance. He talked about separating the fun from the preparation, and they're certainly playing like a well-prepared football team.
It's 28-0 Oklahoma. 9:27 to go in the first half.
Let's look at this block here. Owen's going to come from the outside around the corner. They try to keep Wallem off, but he has enough speed to get around there. Watch him come. Makes the corner. Great effort. Hands on the ball. Russell Jones comes up. The outside leaps into the air and makes the catch. Boom.
That was Tink Collins who got in there to block it.
New Year's Day, TBS presents the All-Day Movie Bowl with 5 funny flicks.
That's my cue.
Jerry Lewis in Cinderfella, an all-star team.
Oh, I think I've looked at man.
In Scavenger Hunt, Don Knotts.
Don't panic. You're in no real personal danger.
The Ghost of Mr. Chicken. Dennis Quaid, Ringo Starr, and Shelley Long in Caveman. And Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi as the Blues Brothers. Hit it. The TBS All-Day Movie Bowl. Beginning at 10 Eastern New Year's Day.
Hi, I'm John Madden with some of America's Olympic hopefuls, announcing Chrysler Plymouth's Grind for the Gold holiday clearance. That means a donation to the U.S. Olympic team and big savings to you. Up to $2,000 or low financing. Save on Voyager and Acclaim. Get $1,000 back on Sundance. Get big savings on Imperial and LeBaron sedans. You save and the Olympic team wins. What could be better? See your Chrysler Plymouth dealers now. The holiday clearance ends soon.
In 1976, one of the marquee matchups, Penn State and Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish passing attack featured Rick Schlager to Ken McAfee, while defensive back Jim Browner picked off this Chuck Fusina attempt to Jimmy Cefalo. MVP Al Hunter rushed for 102 yards on the night as Notre Dame topped the Nittany Lions 20-9. I was way too young to remember that at that time back in 1976. Oklahoma 28-0, 9:27 remaining in the half. You see the deep kickoff because of the unsportsmanlike penalty, and that'll give Virginia an opportunity to get the ball out to the 38-yard line in the hands of Gerard Washington. And so the Cavaliers, down 4 touchdowns, do have decent field position now. Blunden still untracked. 2 for 8 for 20 yards.
They just really haven't been able to get into the rhythm of things yet, Bob. Nothing's really clicked for them. One of the things that they were concerned about is that Oklahoma's defense is so quick. They get off a block so fast that they're wondering if they could keep those cracks open for Kirby and Fisher.
Well, one reason it's hard to complete the passes is when they do catch it. Aaron Munday that time gets nailed by a strong safety, Jason Belser. Gain of only about a yard on the play. Matter of fact, a loss on the play of a yard.
Belser's starting his 34th consecutive game as Virginia goes to a no-huddle offense to try to get things going.
From the 40-yard line, let's give him a gain of a yard on the play. Correction on that. Here is Terry Kirby. Kirby with nice moves to the 45-yard line. Bring out third down and short yardage. On Tuesday evening, New Year's Eve, TBS Sports presents the 1991 Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl from Tucson, Arizona. I'll be over at Tim's house chomping on some pizzas while we watch Ron Thulin, Pat Hayden, and the ubiquitous Craig Sager having all the action beginning at 8 Eastern Time. The Baylor Bears and the Indiana Hoosiers from Tucson. Third down 3 from the 45. London waiting and waiting. Almost through the interception. Aaron Munday, the intended target. Belser almost got it. Remember, Blunden has not thrown an interception all year long. He did fumble earlier. Almost threw one there.
Belser's dad played for Kansas City back in the early 70s. Caesar Belser. Jason's been a 2-time All-Big 8 performer, and this year 5 interceptions, 7 passes broken up, 13 in his career. Just a fine athlete. As I said prior, he started 34. This is the 34th consecutive start for Oklahoma.
And Garneau had blocked last time, not this time. Otis Taylor at the 16. Taylor run down from behind, dropped at about the 18-yard line. First man down there, Curtis Hicks, a punt of 40 yards, a return of 3.
Hi, I'm John Madden with some of America's Olympic hopefuls, announcing Chrysler Plymouth's Drive for the Goal holiday clearance. That's savings to you. Up to $2,000 or low financing. Save on Voyager and Acclaim. Get $1,000 back on Sundance. Get big savings on Imperial and LeBaron sedans. You save and the Olympic team wins. What could be better? See your Chrysler Plymouth dealers now. The holiday clearance ends soon.
We got a problem. Any ideas? I've got a contact, sir. Well, get on it then. Get him here now. Let's roll! Go, go, go! Where'd you find him? He's been with the organization for a while. Nice job, sir.
With years of training, Napa Auto Care technicians provide a secret service everyone should know about.
Well, Blunden now 3 of 10 passing the ball for only 22 yards, and Air Gundy 156 in the air, including a touchdown, and Oklahoma leads it 28-0. One of the touchdowns coming on the recent blocked punt. 8:03 to go in the first half. Gundy completes it again. Wide open is Mickey, the tight end. He's been left alone far too often for the defensive happiness of Virginia tonight. Another first down.
Well, that's a play they'll talk about at halftime for sure. The play action is away, and the strong safety's sitting inside. Mickey gets a shot on Mike Frederick before he releases to the outside in the flat.
Move that ball out to the 34-yard line. Gundy now with 170 yards in the air. And that is fullback Mike McKinley. He struggles out near the first down. McKinley didn't start tonight. Rashid did, but McKinley's a big one too. 6 feet 225. One of the strongest men on the football team.
He was dinged a little bit in practice. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with whether he started or not, but he's on the National Strength Coaches Association All-American team. That means you don't want to get in this guy's way. Big, strong guy, and whether it's he or Rashid, you get the same kind of guy. See, he's about like a tailback too, I guess, right?
Yeah, Oklahoma tailbacks. You know, we always have to say Oklahoma tailback.
Well, it's great going through their All-American list. They had one year back in 1952 where they had 3 All-Americans in the same backfield. Billy Vessels, Eddie Crowder, and Buck McPhail. All All-Americans. I mean, okay, but make your backfield All-American. Certainly a lot of tradition there for the Sooners. And tradition in the making for the Cavaliers.
First down 10 from the 44-yard line. Gaddis as penalty marker flies. 7:21 to go in the half. Crowd of about 60,000. Temperature around 50 degrees here in Jacksonville. 47th annual Gator Bowl football classic.
There's holding on the offense.
That'll stop Oklahoma. That's been about the only thing that stopped the Sooners so far tonight. As you look at that corner of the end zone, mostly Virginia fans there sitting on their hands at the moment. And the Air Force really laying a wood chopping to Mississippi State. Air Force very successful in bowl games. They have a great history there, but I thought Mississippi State would play better, as we've seen them several times this year. And Georgia beat Arkansas 24-15 today, the Independence Bowl, as the Bulldogs welcomed Arkansas to the SEC. And Alabama, another Southeastern Conference team, with a win over Colorado, second place in the Big 8.
And Gary Gibbs there, and he's the 18th coach at Oklahoma, but only the 3rd alum. Back in 1901, it was Fred Roberts and Snorter Luster from 1941 to 1945.
First down 22. Gundy, short drop, wide open again. It'll be short of the first down. This is to the backup tight end, Ricky Brady. Only his 5th catch all year long. Is this unusual for Oklahoma? You bet.
I think what they're trying to do here is just unveil a new look. You can expect this next year. Nice job, and you see Brady when it comes to going up the middle. Mickey has caught the ball going to the outside. I think Ricky Brady's probably got a little bit more quickness so he can penetrate the middle faster, and good catch, good concentration on the ball.
Right at the 50, they give to Gaddis. Look at the spin, first down. Inside the 45 to the 44, Keith Lyle made the stop. That was first down 22 for Oklahoma. Then bang, bang, they get the first down on the pass and the run by Gaddis. Gaddis now with 79 yards rushing here in the first half.
It's a frustrating feeling on the sideline. Right now, George wishes he can play. He's never going to lose that instinct, I don't think. He is just so competitive.
Gundy to go to the air again. Throws it out to the right side. Gaddis has one blocker. Gets a nice block and goes out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Brian Broninger got down there to throw him a nice block on the screen play to the right side.
As you said, Bob, only 5 catches all year for Gaddis. Didn't really figure as a major factor in their passing attack. They started out the game by throwing to him, and now you see him on a screen. There's Brian Broninger there. First team all Big 8. Number 66 breaks the huddle. You see all those big necks running up to the line of scrimmage.
Look at that. These are game statistics, and happy to be for any quarterback. 200 yards already with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter for Gundy. They hand it to McKinley. Look at the power. The 26-yard line. First down marker is at the 23. Jeffries and Lewis had to combine to stop this man. Not only is he a bench press guy, he is also second on the team in vertical leap. So not only is he strong, he's got the great lower body, too, and athleticism.
Wallace Moriarty, and you see Wrestler trying to trap. They squeezed it pretty good. McKinley keeps his eyes open, finds a hole way to the backside for a nice gain.
Melson goes in motion. Gaddis, running room. Good play. Coming up, number 9, Tyrone Lewis made the stop, and it's right close to the first down marker. Lewis, the free safety, who's the senior back there, playing nicked up, had to come up to make the stop.
He's a senior and one of the 3 returning starters on defense. He started every game that he's been at Virginia for. And as you mentioned, did do a nice job of coming up that time to support.
They're going to take a timeout to get a measurement here. Virginia allowed only 10.8 points per game all year long. They've given up 28 points here in less than a half tonight.
Well, regardless of what happens here tonight, Oklahoma playing good football, regardless of the outcome. It's been a great year for Virginia and a great 4 or 5 years. As you mentioned, 4th consecutive bowl bid. And George Welch just doing a great job in the ACC. His record is 38-26-3 in conference play. His predecessors were 33, 121-1. So he didn't resurrect Virginia football. He created it over the last 10 years.
That was a first down, Oklahoma, at the 23-yard line. Long in motion. Gaddis tries the middle. Finds an open door to the 12-yard line. Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Bob, there's a very depressed feeling over here on the Virginia sidelines. It's not so much the game plan, but the execution. They've already given up more points than they did their last 5 games combined. The feeling is the way things are going, it could get a whole lot worse before it gets better. They'd like to go in the locker room right now. Bob?
Well, you blocked the door. I doubt that they really want to go in there right now. I'm sure they'd like to make those halftime adjustments right now. First down from the 12. Gundy, who's thrown for 200 yards. Penalty markers. Ricky Brady, the tight end, probably the guilty party there, number 86. He's the backup behind Joey Mickey. Mickey's got to be tired, the big 270-pound starting tight end. They've just worn him out. They're going to get him into the ball game now. He had some oxygen, and Brady will take a rest. There you go. Total of 20. Craig just alluded to this. 26 points in the last 5 games. Total 28 points to Oklahoma here tonight.
You get on a roll, and it's just like playing golf. Well, maybe not like the kicker played golf, but it's like playing golf. You get hot, and things are going, and you're playing with confidence, and good things are happening. But now it's been a long time since they played the last time. Those 5 games are a long time ago.
Gaddis to the 14-yard line. Gene Tolliver makes the stop. 3:51 to go in the half. Virginia all year long never trailed in a game by more than 10 points. This guy's team, Gary Gibbs' team, was 6th ranked right before they played Texas. Hit a slump there when they lost to Texas, and then struggled for a little bit in the middle of the season before coming on pretty strong at the end and challenging actually for the Big 8 championship. Gundy, quick toss over the middle. Mickey, they're not going to keep him out of the end zone. He got his oxygen, he got his rest, he got his second touchdown catch. Greg, you may have been right about wanting to get into the locker room. Trailing 34-0 now with 3:17 to go in the half.
Actually, they run the same play as they scored the first touchdown on with Mickey.
The point after is blocked. This can be run back. It won't be. That is Tyrone Lewis who had the ball. Penalty markers are down as he ran off over here on the Oklahoma side.
The cheerleader went down there. I think she's all right. Let's look at the touchdown here. We saw this play earlier in the game. First touchdown. There's Mickey. Kind of slides out. Gundy fakes the dive. Boom. Sucks the linebackers up and pops it over the top before a safety can get there. That's another one they'll talk about at halftime, Bob. You can be sure of that.
3:17 to go in the half. Oklahoma 34-0.
It's the Dodge Drive for the Gold sales drive. Now own Shadow America for only $69.84 thanks to 1,000 cash back. Up to $1,500 cash back on select Dodge cars. Up to $2,000 cash back on select Dodge trucks. And package savings up to $26.83. In soon. See your nearest Dodge dealer today.
In 1908, one of the favorites in the great New York to Paris race was a motor car built by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens builds over 700 automotive products, from fuel injectors and microprocessors to halogen headlights. Siemens, creating technologies to keep America and the world moving in the right direction. Siemens, precision thinking.
Well, even the cheerleaders getting into the act. That young lady made the stop on Dean Collins as he came out of bounds, and she seems to be no worse for the wear. And the penalty against Oklahoma for the sideline infraction, and they'll have to kick off from the 20-yard line after the blocked point after attempt. So another opportunity here with 3:17 for Virginia. Heaven knows their coaching staff would like to have something on the board to talk about at the halftime. So would the players, would make it a lot more comfortable. Gerard Washington goes down at the 37-yard line with 3:13 to go in the half. And here comes Blunden. Blunden is 3 of 10 for only 22 yards in this game. His toughest performance all year.
Well, this is one of those times when you need to say, okay, let's start this again. We're going to get this thing going again. Forget everything that has just happened. We're now just going to rework this deal and see if we can slowly work our way back in. They know the defense will get it fixed eventually. They got to keep the ball for a while.
Fisher and Sweeney in the backfield. Here's Fisher. He fumbled earlier in the ball game. This is his first appearance since then, near the 40-yard line. Here's the Oklahoma scoring drive. This one 80 yards, 10 plays. Mickey with the touchdown reception from Gundy. Used nearly 5 minutes of clock. Second down, 8, Virginia. Gundy on the rollout. Nice toss and an excellent grab at the 44-yard line by Aaron Mundy. And finally, Virginia fans cheer. A gain of 16 yards.
Jason Belzer was making a move on this football. Great route by Aaron Monday. They decide to move the pocket a little bit, give Blunden some more time. Belzer in great shape. What a perfect throw by Blunden. Good concentration by Monday. There you go. You need a couple more plays like that. Get some big plays cooking. Create some excitement. You got this crowd on your side. Wake them up.
First down at the 44. Here's the pitch to Nicky Fisher. Almost turned the corner. Drilled out of bounds over there at about the 36-yard line by Terry Ray. Knocked out of bounds by Ray. Only 51 yards rushing. Penalty marker comes down now as some verbiage got in the way of the Oklahoma defense.
Yeah, and if that penalty's on Oklahoma, that's just the kind of junk that Gary Gibbs wants to cut out. Keep your mouth shut. Play with your hands. Speak the rest of your body, but
Good
shut
ball.
up.
Unsportsmanlike, on white.
Good hit. Make the hit. Okay, now you did your job. Get up and go back to the huddle. The cheerleaders cheer. You're a player. Go back to the huddle. Terry Ray's a fine player. But there's no sense to cost your team 15 yards for that. Excuse me. That's just an opinion. Little editor's point there.
Look at this. You see the coach is having a word or two also to the young man, Terry Ray. He is a senior from Killeen, Texas.
You know, you get excited. He's had a great career here at Oklahoma, super kid, and 34th consecutive start. Great player. Got to contain your emotions to the act of playing the game.
Sweeney and Fisher in the backfield behind Blunden, lofting into the end zone. Touchdown, Virginia. That's freshman Tyrone Davis. Boy, do the Cavaliers need that. A 22-yard touchdown pass. Davis is the 6'5" leaper. They know that he'll get the ball if they can get it to him down there. Blunden all year long, trust me on this, folks, has that kind of touch.
Well, you know how effective Virginia has been when they get down close. They've been inside the 20 37 times. They've scored 34 times. Very effective.
Point after by Michael Husted is good, and it's 34-7. 2:24 to go in the half. The good news for the Virginia Cavaliers as they go to the sideline looking at Gary Gibbs, Oklahoma coach there, as George Wells does know that he has a balanced attack, an air game, and can throw to come back as opposed to being a run-limited team.
You know, I asked Tom O'Brien, offensive coordinator, you throw the fade much? He said, well, since Herman Moore graduated, we really haven't got it timed up yet, haven't done a lot of it. They'll do a lot of it next year. Tyrone Davis goes up high for the ball. Over William Schenkel. He's in there to replace Darnell Walker and makes a nice catch. The true freshman, yeah, okay, now there's a play. We're back on a roll. Let's get going.
Now the key will be to try to stop Oklahoma, as Oklahoma has amassed 213 yards in the air, 120 yards on the ground. There you see Tink Collins, who blocked the punt that resulted in a touchdown, and Otis Taylor.
You know, I've been around Rick Lance a little bit, and of course Mike Archer, and I haven't met the other defensive coaches, but I know this. I mean, these guys on Virginia's defense, they're going to keep playing. They're not going to be happy about going into the locker room right now. They'll want witnesses, you know. But they will come out a different team.
Otis Taylor at the 6. At the 17. Some emotion returning to that Virginia football team. It was David Brown who made the stop on special teams. Now 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the first half. This is a quick score offense. They've been able to score quickly all year long. This only took them 49 seconds.
And of course it was set up by the placement of the kickoff and penalty for unnecessary celebration or something. A couple of unsportsmanlike conduct gave him 30 yards and penalties there. Shortened the drive.
Duell Brewer in its tailback now. He was injured earlier in the year. Gets the play fake. Gundy going upstairs. He's got a man open, almost picked off, intended for long, was Lewis on the coverage. Gundy has a big league arm.
Yeah, he does, and he's a gifted athlete from what Larry Coker has to say. And you see Tyrone Lewis playing the ball. He goes up for it, and if that ball had been thrown a little bit farther outside, they might have had a better shot at Ted Long coming down with it.
Well, the Virginia Pep Band, we are potentially familiar. They'll be performing at halftime. 34-7 Oklahoma, 2:13 to go in the half. Second down, 10. The ball came loose. It belongs to Virginia at the 23-yard line. That got the crowd on their feet. Mike Frederick came up with the ball. Number 95, the defensive left end for the Cavaliers.
Mike Frederick has been invaluable for him this year. Redshirt freshman. Got a class of guys that are playing with him. Never really gets a hold of it. Nobody shakes it loose. Frederick starts to scramble for it. Gene Tolliver there fighting. Mike Frederick comes up with it. He had 7 passes broken up during the year. Now they add that a fumble recovery to his stats.
It's Kenyon Rashid who coughed it up on the first down. Blunden. Plenty of time. Walks it into the end zone. That was Davis. He was trying to bite him in the same way again. Went left side this time. Again, Davis had drawn the double coverage. Charles Franks and Drew Chrisman were there. This will be second down 10 from the 22-yard line. 2 minutes, 1 second remaining in the first half.
Chrisman in there playing for Terry Ray.
See how Virginia's come alive the last 2 possessions. Kirby is back in there, and he'll try the middle. He is stuck by Reggie Barnes, number 40.
I've looked forward to seeing him in real life, Reggie Barnes. They talk about a typical Reggie Barnes hit. Let's see if we can hear this. Just a vicious hitter, not that big a kid, about 6 feet, 220, 215. But as you mentioned, Bob, 7-9 sacks actually, and the most for a defensive end in Oklahoma history. Tony Casillas had 10.
Third down, 12 from the shotgun. Popped over the middle, almost picked off. Intended for Mundy. Belser covering. That's been some matchup tonight. 6'6" Aaron Mundy against a strong safety, Jason Belser.
Blunden just tried to dump it in over the middle. Bend it inside. Great break on the ball. Good play. Thought he had it in there, but Belser really busted on that ball. Really did a great job. We're going to see Belser, I think, at halftime doing some of his imitations, right?
Yeah, he's not only a player, he's an entertainer.
Virginia going for it now on 4th down.
On 4th and 12. Blunden fell down, completed the pass to 82 Tyrone Davis, but it was far short of the first down at the 20, and Oklahoma has a minute 8 now as they take over. So that's one of the rare times that Virginia has not been able to score when they get down here near the 20-yard line.
All year long, 3 times. Out of 37 times inside the 20, they haven't scored. They lost it on downs once, fumbled once, and missed a field goal once.
So it'll be first down Oklahoma at their 20-yard line with a minute 8 to go in the half. It's 34-7 Oklahoma. Cavaliers certainly hope to help get back in the ball game by taking advantage of the fumble recovery. Rashid coughed it up. Frederick fell on it. Here is Duell Brewer, hit at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Coming up on the Aflac College Halftime Report, Craig Sager takes a look at Virginia quarterback Matt Blunden, reviews the week of activities leading up to today's game, and looks at Oklahoma assistant coach Lucius Selman, former Sooner player of the famous Selman brothers. It'll be 2nd down 9, Oklahoma. As we have a timeout on the field, Cale Gundy comes to the Oklahoma sideline to talk to his offensive people. If you look at George Wells, there's Gundy. He is a sophomore from Midwest City, Oklahoma, 6 feet, 190 pounds, 8 touchdown passes this year. Talk about Oklahoma and their bowl tradition. 30th bowl, 18 wins, and Alabama, that includes last night's Alabama victory. They lead everybody in bowl victories. Alabama beat Colorado last night. See 2 SEC teams in the top 4 all-time bowl wins.
Gator Bowl has got a lot of tradition. We were at, as was Gary Gibbs and George Welsh, at the Gator Bowl luncheon and saw Ron Sellers inducted into the Gator Bowl Hall of Fame, along with Bill Peterson and Wally Butts posthumously, and Ken Willard, great running back for North Carolina and then the San Francisco 49ers. I could listen to Bill Peterson, the guy who coached at Florida State and many different places, but Houston Oilers, talk all night. He's
out to the 26-yard line goes Duell Brewer. Brewer was the starting tailback, number 23, for Oklahoma at the beginning of the season. He got injured, and that's when Gaddis stepped in and took over. And, of course, with 1,240 yards rushing, Brewer couldn't get his job back, and Gaddis is the lead man. Gaddis has 96 yards rushing already in the first half. You see Gundy has thrown for 214 and 2 touchdowns with 47 seconds remaining until halftime. There is a timeout on the field. I'd like to remind you on our sister network, NBA action continues on TNT Friday night. Detroit takes on Dallas Mavericks, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Isaiah Thomas seen here before his wreck with Karl Malone. Isaiah is back in action for Detroit. Detroit playing much better after a terrible NBA start this year. So Gary Gibbs with a 34-7 lead, and I guess he'll go in at halftime, Tim, and tell his team that they can't relax. That's not a big enough lead.
Well, I'm sure he'll bring that up. I'm also certain that, you know, you never know how your team's going to. You never know what's in your gun when you walk onto the field as a coach. You just can't tell. I mean, as a player, you can't tell if everybody's ready to go or not. It's hard to tell if you're ready sometimes. And so I'm sure he feels good about what's happened so far and the way his offense has performed, and defense has pretty much squelched that Cavalier attack. He's got to be happy with the output of his team.
This is 3rd down 3. It's complete to Hall. First down, Oklahoma to the 38-yard line with 41 seconds remaining in the half. And Oklahoma, the way they've moved the ball this first half, plenty of time left to nail up some more points.
You know, I'm just looking through this book here. Maybe we get our statistician, Alex Figueroa, looking it up. But I think 31 times is the most that Gundy has thrown the ball. And I think 19 completions were the most that he had.
And he has 17 for 21 at the moment.
Yeah, I think that was just 18 right there.
Yes. To the 47-yard line. And that was number 18, so it's a minor point, but nevertheless, Ricky Brady with the reception. So Gundy, the career night here in the first half. 14 seconds left in the half, and we'll get timeout. So Cale Gundy completed 18 of 22 passes, only 4 incompletions for 239 yards and a couple of touchdowns. His previous high in a complete game was 235 yards and 1 touchdown, so it's clearly his, that was against Virginia Tech, his top passing performance. He's only a sophomore also. And, you know, to talk about that, he's got the good receivers. Mickey is a junior. Brady, the other tight end, is a sophomore. Corey Warren is a sophomore. Chris Mellon is a senior. We can scratch him off. Tink Collins is only a junior. But, I mean, he's got good receivers coming back. And Albert Hall, the man who's shown the deep threat, is a true freshman.
And I think that Larry Coker will tell you they'll have the ability to get some better receivers in here now that they have displayed this kind of versatility in their offense. If you're a receiver, you know, you sure didn't have an Oklahoma pennant up on your wall. You know, you weren't thinking about going there. I mean, there's not a lot of great receivers that have come out of Oklahoma. There was another Tinker one time.
Yes, there was.
Tinker Owens came out of there,
Exactly.
and I'm sure there were other receivers that have played at Oklahoma, but I mean, it's not the school that you dream about going to if you want to be a wide receiver in the NFL.
14 seconds to go in the half. First down, Oklahoma. Play fake to Brewer. Gundy going deep. It is almost, but not quite, picked off by Greg McClellan, intended for Ted Long. 7 seconds remaining in the half.
Good job by McClellan. They pump faked it short.
Going to get a personal foul call against Virginia here, roughing the quarterback, I believe.
That's what it looked like. He had pumped it to the tight end. McClellan in great position, did not bite, had an opportunity to pull that one in.
There's the hit. Penalty flag will be thrown on Kirchbaum.
On the defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
15 yards moves it to the 37-yard line. George Welch really upset over that move. Just one more item on his list for the halftime chat.
Well, you just don't want to get in that white area right now if you're a player. You stay behind the white line, stay out of his line of sight. Right now, George would be upset at just about any little thing. He's irritated. Of course, he knows his team is a much better football team than they've showed here tonight.
Gundy with the quick toss. Was that caught? A beautiful effort made by Ricky Brady. The officials are saying he got it. What a nice effort by the backup tight end. 2 seconds to go. We've got enough field position here for a field goal opportunity for Oklahoma. They took over the ball with 1:08 to go in the half.
Well, we got an ISO of the tight end here running upfield. Tolliver not in bad shape. Great effort going down after that football. Just an enthusiastic effort to get down there. There didn't seem to be anybody else going down there after it. Good play by Ricky Brady.
So it's a first down with 2 seconds, and they're going to go for the field goal here with only 2 seconds to go. Scott Blanton is the kicker. He is a true freshman who got a hip flexor at the beginning of the year. Is only 4 of 12 on field goals this year. All the field goals he's been able to kick have been relatively short. This will be a 36-yard attempt for Scott Blanton. No, hit the upright. That's about the only thing that did not go right for Oklahoma. A Gator Bowl record, 34 points in the first half. Virginia managed to come up with 7, and let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, thank you, Bob. Coach, you have a lot of smart kids. SAT scores 1,400. They're coachable, teachable. What are you going to tell them at halftime?
I don't know what SAT scores has to do with this.
Well, they're smart. They'll learn to you, won't they?
There's nothing to, I don't know what I can say to them. I think Oklahoma was very good and we were very bad. And that's why it's, whatever, 27-point difference or something. So, I don't know. We're giving up some things that looks like we haven't practiced. That's all I can say.
Okay, thanks for being with us. Earlier this week, his wife, Sandra, got a hole-in-one. Maybe he'd like to have a mulligan and start over. Bob?
Thanks, Greg. Not the most enviable job talking to George Welch as he comes off the field trailing 34-7. We have a whale of a halftime coming up, though, so stay with us. Craig will be back.
That's life.
You guys around next week? Not me. I'm off to State College on Saturday. You're still going? That's great. What about your dad's surgery? Yeah, the bills and stuff. No problem. He had some extra insurance to help pick up the bills.
Aflac Supplemental Insurance helps close the gaps in your health insurance, like deductibles and co-payments. Aflac lets life go right on, and that's the peace of mind you want. Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
Samson, darling, that old loincloth does nothing for you.
It's comfortable, Delilah. What should I wear?
Gird those lovely loins in something temptingly different.
Ribbed whites?
From Fruit of the Loom.
Hey, incredible. This ribbed cotton is more than comfortable.
It moves with you.
Yeah, and the cut's trimmer.
I see, my mighty one.
They feel great.
For extra comfort and style, stick true to the loom ribbed whites.
Sam, I told you to get a haircut.
Taking off for vacation this winter? How about hitting the slopes at a fun western ski resort with an Advantage Rent-A-Car Plymouth Voyager or Jeep Cherokee? Or you could hop a jet to the links of Arizona, rent a roomy Chrysler New Yorker, and golf your brains out. Or maybe head down to the Texas coast for fun in the sun in a LeBaron convertible. I hear there's even this nude beach down there. Just kidding. Advantage Rent-A-Car, the rising star in rental cars. Give us a call when you take off this winter.
Why fight the weather? Get to the locker room. A couple other bowl games going on this weekend. In the past 24 hours, 2 victories by the SEC.
Oklahoma leading 34-7, and who should be happy, Gary Gibbs, is with Craig Sager.
Well, thank you, Bob. Tim Foley mentioned earlier, you never know how the team's going to react. But in the locker room before the game, do you have any idea they come out this well prepared?
Well, we had a great week of preparation, and again, our football team was excited. It's a great atmosphere right now, and our football team went out and played very well.
What'd you tell them at halftime? Anything they can work on?
Well, again, it was an excellent 30 minutes of football. Let's make it an excellent 60 minutes of football.
And no taunting?
No taunting.
Okay, thanks a lot. Let's take a look at the highlights, Bob.
Thanks, Craig. You sure have a way of winning friends with the two coaches. Both of them mad at you here as we start. Well, Oklahoma 34-7, and as we take a look at the highlights, Tim Foley, Oklahoma, we knew could run the football, and we knew that they weren't bad passing it, but we did not know they'd get 254 yards in the air in the first half.
No, I don't think anybody anticipated that. They just played an excellent first half of football. Everything that they planned on happened, and people making plays, and Gundy putting the ball on the mark. Started out like this. Mickey busting open, 2-deep zone. Gundy popped it in there before anybody could react. And now Gaddis gets the way cleared for him by some fine blocking by that offensive line. And Gaddis scampers in there. That makes it 14-0. And then special teams got into the act here. We got a block punt. Up in the air it goes. Mike Coates looks around. I got it. No, it's Russell Jones that makes the catch and scores. That's 28-0.
Tink Collins is the man who blocked it, and there was a little good news for Virginia late in the ball game. Here is Matt Blunden to the true freshman Davis.
A beautiful catch there. He's made some big plays throughout the year for him, and they think that he has the ability to really surpass Herman Moore in terms of ability.
There you see 391 yards in total offense for Oklahoma, and they had the ball 20 minutes and 4 seconds.
Yeah, but how about 254 yards passing? Who is this? We got those initials right.
And we talked about adjustments during the first half for Virginia, and I think you hit it pretty much on the money. You know, you can adjust all you want to, but athletes will out, and Oklahoma looks to be loaded with talent.
Yes, they do, and they're playing at a level that actually probably exceeds the level that they played on during the regular year. Their coaching staff has done a wonderful job getting them ready to play, and but Virginia will make some adjustments in the second half, and you know, you can bet George Wells is going to come out of that locker room with some threads in his teeth. You know, he's going to be chewing into some people, and because those guys on that staff, of course, like any staff, they have a lot of pride, and to lose is one thing, to be embarrassed is another thing, and it's after the tremendous season that they had, it would be a shame to let it end like this, you know, so they're going to come out fighting. They're not going to roll over here in the second half.
And we're ready to get underway from the Gator Bowl in the second half. Virginia receiving. Gerard Washington at the 5. And upended at the 25-yard line. And there the Cavaliers will go on offense. First down 10 from the 25. It will be Matt Blunden with Terry Kirby in the backfield, and Blunden will try to get something going. 6 of 15 for only 64 yards. He did have the one touchdown pass in the first half. They'll spot the ball just inside the 25-yard line. It is Kirby and Gary Steele in the backfield for Blunden. Trailing 34-7. They'll take it to the air early. And it is caught for a first down out at the 38 by Larry Holmes. So one thing for Virginia, we said they had a balanced offense. They do know how to throw, and that does give them some opportunity to make up some ground without winding a lot of clock. 19-yard gain on that pass for Blunden. That's 1/3 of all his first half passing yardage.
But they do have some quick strike guys on the outside. Both Holmes and Tyrone Davis can get quick in a hurry.
On the first down, the play fake, the fumble. It was going to be handed off to Monday. He dropped the ball on the exchange with the quarterback and fell on it back at the 28-yard line. They faked it to run to the middle, then tried the reverse with Aaron Monday. Nothing happened.
Oklahoma pursues vigorously all the time, and Virginia just trying to take advantage of their ability to pursue and get off blocks, and Monday doesn't hold on. About that time, the Virginia coaches are looking up at the moon. Is it full or what's going on? We got to get something to work here.
Second down, 22 now. Kirby with the play fake.
Picked off. There's the first interception of the year
For Matt Blunden. He had had a couple of near interceptions previously. It was tipped by Drew Chrisman, and Darnell Walker came down with the ball. .248 passes until the interception, make it 241 passes.
Virginia trying to clear out the middle and come in behind it. Just a great job of dropping back in here by the linebackers that did not enable Blunden to put anything really on the ball. He had to throw it up, overthrows it, tipped by an Oklahoma player, intercepted by Darnell Walker, who had 4 interceptions on the year.
Now Gundy throwing successfully again. Down to the 18-yard line goes Kenyon Rashid out of the backfield. Oklahoma picking right up where they left off just to get that interception streak straight. It's 248 reaching all the way back to last year. 241 if you count passes just thrown this year, but the streak is over.
Streak is over. And it was a remarkable streak. Luck enters into the things like that, but it was a tremendous amount of, there was a tremendous amount of poise, good decision making on the part of Matt Blunden.
Handoff Gaddis tries the left side. Can't turn the corner, chased out of bounds by Greg McClellan and Keith Lyon. By the way, Ray Roberts, the Virginia offensive lineman, was not in that last series. We'll check to see if anything happened to their All-American left tackle. Virginia doesn't need something else to go wrong for them, that's for sure. There is Ray Roberts on the sideline now, obviously, as the defense is on the field. We'll take a check on it when the Virginia offense gets back out there. Handoff Rashid right up the middle to the 8-yard line. Kenyon Rashid. And Oklahoma right at the door once again inside the 10-yard line, leading it 34-7. There's Kenyon Rashid, 230 pounds on a 5-foot 10-inch frame from Kansas City, Missouri. First and goal at about 7.5-yard line. Sooners giving some notice in the Big 8 about next year's team. Their quarterback only a sophomore. Kenyon Rashid powers his way for the touchdown, his 5th rushing touchdown on the year. That Virginia defensive team that gave up only 26 points the last 5 games of the season really feeling the bite of the offense tonight.
You saw, look at this offensive line work. Ressler and gets a double team with Wallace. Look at Houston and Ressler working together. Look at that movement in there. Good job of Joey Mickey getting the linebacker turned out, and it creates the seam for Rashid.
You look down the line and see 280, 290, 280, 270. They're big.
A lot of cars are taking aim at the imports these days. Well, one American car is very much on target. Buick. Here's their latest hit, the all-new 1992 Skylark. Completely redesigned with more power and advanced features like standard anti-lock brakes. Skylock for $19.92. It's got everything you've been looking for. Plus the one thing only Buick can offer you. Buick quality.
The 1991 Gator Bowl is brought to you by Coors Light. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Digging out the record books at the 47th Gator Bowl. Oklahoma scored the most points ever in the first half of the Gator Bowl to lead 34-7. Now, after the interception, ending the record-setting passing performance of Matt Blunden, Oklahoma has scored again with Kenyon Rashid on a 7.5-yard run. Rod Washington will down it in the end zone, and Virginia will try to get something started from their own 20-yard line. 32 yards in 4 plays in just over a minute.
That's one thing the Virginia offense certainly did not do much of during the year, and that's turn the ball over. They've lost a fumble tonight, and that was an interception that set up that 32-yard scoring drive. So the Oklahoma defense has continued to perform as it did throughout the year, taking the ball away.
You see that All-American Ray Roberts is back in there. He had back spasms and missed the series last time. He's the 300-pound, 6'7" left tackle, 72. Didn't help much having him back in on that play. A couple of yards for Terry Kirby.
Well, they've had a problem all year long in their offensive line, not necessarily with the quality of their players, but they've had problems keeping people healthy. As a matter of fact, Ray Roberts, the left tackle, and Tim Samick are the only two guys that have started every game as they've rotated people on the outside. Got a fine young lineman named Dixon who had a back problem earlier on in the season, and he's out for this game, and they felt like that would make a difference, and obviously it has made somewhat of a difference.
They run Kirby up the middle again. He drives it to the 26-yard line. The first down stick out at the 30. So it'll be third down, about 4.5 yards. With 11:52 to go, third quarter from the Gator Bowl.
And it's too bad that Terry Kirby hasn't really been able to display his abilities. He carries the ball, an average of 15 times a game, and just really has amassed a lot of yardage for handling the ball that infrequently. As you mentioned, alternating with Nicky Fisher.
Holmes, Doss, Davis, 3 wideouts in there for the third down long. Almost picked off again. Whoa, that was William Schenkel that time. Pass intent for Larry Holmes. Blunden getting some pressure, more than he's seen most of the year.
Bobby Proctor, the defensive backfield coach, had his head set off after this one. Oklahoma had intercepted 25 passes during the regular season. They were all around the football. It was just thrown at an inappropriate area.
Oklahoma has one punt block already tonight. Low snap. They almost got that one. Garno drives Otis Taylor back to the 26-yard line. And he gets out to the 34 before he goes down. And Oklahoma comes back out here on offense, leading it 41-7.
They came to this country from everywhere else. And now, the airline that's uniting the world is ready to take you back. United. The airline whose service made it #1 across the Pacific. Takes you across the Atlantic to cities throughout Europe, including service to London's Heathrow. United to Europe. Come see what we're made of. Come fly the friendly skies.
January 1st, 1989 would close out the coaching career of Georgia's Vince Dooley. Michigan State and Georgia would go wild, combining for nearly 900 yards in total offense, while the Spartans' Andre Rison amassed 252 yards receiving, including this TD on 3rd and 44. Not to be denied, the Bulldogs' Rodney Hampton would scamper for 109 yards on the night, sending Vince Dooley out a winner, 34-27. Georgia had another bowl victory today in the Weed Eater Bowl down in Shreveport, Louisiana. It was a 25-14 over Arkansas, and Andre Rison having a great year for the Atlanta Falcons, who were successful in their playoff game yesterday. On the reverse, this is Albert Hall inside Virginia territory to the 47-yard line. Everything Oklahoma has tried has worked.
Virginia trying to pursue on defense. They hand the ball to Albert Hall coming back the other way, and they have used this play very effectively throughout the year to garner some yards. Ted Long ran a 56-yarder against Kansas, actually.
Hall, just a true freshman.
Gundy changes the play on the line of scrimmage.
Some pressure to Gundy, gets rid of it to Gaddis, penalty marker down. Gaddis loses the ball. Looks as though Oklahoma covered it, however, at the 31. But a penalty marker is down back at midfield. Kenyon Rashid fell on the ball after it came loose, but the penalty marker is against Oklahoma. So it'll all come back nevertheless.
You know, at halftime, we talked about Oklahoma not producing any real great wide receivers, or wide receivers not growing up wanting to go to Oklahoma because they throw the ball out of course. Well, a note arrived.
A letter poured in.
Yeah.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards, still first down.
A note from Donnie Duncan, the athletic director, and Gary Gibbs' boss, actually, former head coach at Iowa State. And Donnie has handed me this long list of great Oklahoma wide receivers. As you see, it does not cover a greater portion of the page.
4 names.
Yeah. Tinker Owens, Billy Brooks. No argument. Keith Jackson. Now, Corey Warren caught more passes than Keith Jackson ever caught. You know, they didn't really discover him as a great receiver till he left here now, Donnie. And then Eddie Hinton. Now you're going way back. Now, I played against this guy, so. But thank you for the information. We appreciate the input.
And we use it. Cale Gundy's running it. This is not his forte. As you can see, he wasn't real comfortable, but successful also back to the 48-yard line. Here is Craig Sager.
Well, thank you very much, Bob. With me, Bill Curry Jr. on the button, and Bill Curry Jr. You're the senior here, although your father, Bill Curry, as well. 3 Bill Currys.
Yeah, there are 3 of us, and actually the only junior is Bill Jr. He's got his hands full tonight.
You've rebuilt football programs before. Obviously, your early years at Georgia Tech, you went into games, you were outmanned. What's the feeling of the game tonight?
Well, it's a combination of things. Oklahoma's extremely well prepared. You got to give them credit, and Coach Gibbs and his staff. There's also enormous athletic talent, and I think that's the biggest difference. Oklahoma just has great skilled people and great linemen, and they're sharp tonight. And hopefully there's enough time for Virginia to get back in it, but they're going to have to execute like they did right before the half offensively to get that done.
You're a very proud father, obviously, tonight to have your son playing in a major bowl game. But is it tough sitting in the stands? When's the last time you were up there?
It's very, very tough because you have to listen to people's evaluation of the coaching, and George Welsh is one of the great coaches in America, and in times like this, and of course people have a right to their opinion. I have to sit there and keep my mouth shut and just keep pulling for my son and his team.
Well, you can stay down here with me. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Bill Curry, great friend of both Tim Foley and mine. Glad that Bill is here, watching his son, who's the long snapper, by the way, on the special teams for the University of Virginia. And that was Kenyon Rashid with the pass reception near the first down marker. 41-7, Oklahoma, 8:35 to go, third quarter.
And of course, one game cannot, will not influence anyone's career. George Welsh, the winningest coach that ever coached at Navy, the winningest coach at Virginia. And, he's already very disappointed in Virginia, his football team's production here tonight. And people will run their mouth, including Bob and Tim.
Of course, they pay us big bucks to do that.
Oh, yeah.
They
Right.
pay me big bucks.
Thank you.
And I'm supposed to give some to you. I've been meaning to catch up on that, by the way. 7:56 to go in the third quarter. And first down carry for Oklahoma. They'll get it near the 36-yard line. Cale Gundy just kept it. Cale Gundy has now thrown for 282 yards. Some records. We said that there were some records to be broken. Most TDs by one team, 6 scored by Oklahoma. Most points, 41. And we're only halfway through the third quarter.
Now, Oklahoma this year has outscored its opposition in the second quarter by 450%. So, I mean, they've done well in most second quarters.
And Virginia coming off and running right at Cale Gundy. Coming right up the middle, didn't catch who that was for Virginia, ran right over the quarterback. No penalty flag came down. Thought there might be one, in addition to the fact that Virginia made the early penetration. I never did see a penalty marker on the play. I still don't see a penalty marker. I think that was an excuse me, and we'll just tee it up again.
No penalty on the play. Second down, 11.
The PA announcer just said incredulously, no penalty flag on the play. I concur in the vagueness of that. Okay, they'll get a mulligan. It is complete to Long at the 29-yard line. Corey Warren, check at number 2, Corey Warren.
Good job by Gundy. They were trying to get it to the tight end again on that little release. Good job of coverage by the Virginia secondary. Forced him to go to his alternate receiver.
This will bring up third down 3 at the 29. Already the most points scored in the Gator Bowl at 41 with 6:39 to go third quarter. Career highs for Gundy and completions and yardage. Maybe this time a flag will come down. Chris Slade jumped across. Yes, there is a yellow flag. I think the deal is you have to do it twice.
Offsides on the defense.
This is really tough. The Virginia defensive football team in a state of disarray. They are not used to this kind of whipping they're being handled tonight. And Rick Lance, the man with his hand up to his right hand up to his cheek there, is the defensive coordinator.
First down, Oklahoma.
Here's where the Cavaliers ranked. I mean, this is a good defensive football team. 4th in the nation in scoring defense and 6th defending against the pass. Mike Gaddis hit initially by Matt Quigley.
Concentration tends to wane at times like this. 41-7, you're ahead in a game that's a bowl game and important to win, but it's not necessarily a title game or anything. And Oklahoma obviously feeling that this one's pretty well put away, and I think Virginia might be feeling that this one's pretty well put away also.
5:46 to go third quarter. It is incomplete at the 10, intended for Corey Warren. On the average, Virginia gives up 323.5 total yards a game. Tonight, 465 with a quarter and a half remaining. And when the most interesting thing to me about all of this is all week long, Cale Gundy has said in the press and to anybody who had listened to him, I'm going to throw the ball 30 times. In this bowl game. And the Virginia coaches, the media, everybody else said, sure you are, Cale. Well, he is. He was right. It is complete to Hall for the first down at the 7-yard line. And that was the 29th pass. Cale's next pass will be his 30th. I think he said at least 30 times. First and goal.
Double slant route here, a little fake dive. Gundy doesn't really set up. Great athletic ability, just turns and sees Hall knifing to the inside, and the youngster from Bay City, Texas makes the grab and is disappointed with himself that he couldn't break free and score.
The Virginia Pep band insulted the Oklahoma football team, as they are well known to do at halftime, making them even more angry probably. Here's Gaddis. He has running room to the corner. He'll just outsprint everybody. Easy touchdown for Gaddis, his third in this game, and Gaddis went over the 100-yard mark rushing with that play. I'll bet this is the enough of Boomer Sooner for the Cavalier fans here. They'll be hearing that all winter long. Oklahoma 47-7, 48-7 with 5:09 to go in the third quarter.
On the third Sunday in August, this place turns from a hard-working ranch town into a hard-riding rodeo town. And folks like us take it on the chin, in our backs, and about everywhere else. That's why most of us here rely on Tylenol. With all the choices Doc Hall has, he gives us the same thing he takes himself.
From small-town doctors to big city hospitals, Tylenol's the pain reliever America counts on.
Hang on, Doc!
It's the one hospitals use most.
Because you believe these trucks shouldn't carry a spare tire. Because up here, crisp-tasting beer just comes naturally. Because when the whole gang gets together, there's no room for filling up. So reach for the Silver Bullet, the beer that won't weigh you down.
Oklahoma has a 41-point lead with 5:09 to go in the third quarter. And here's Mike Gaddis. He scored 3 touchdowns tonight, 104 yards rushing, had 1,240 yards and 14 TDs coming in tonight. And the greatest story about him is that in 1989, when he tore up his knee, they thought his football career was over. He worked his way back and frankly, probably has a shot in the NFL. We'll question the injured knee, but we'll get a look by somebody. Holmes at the 9. To the 29, out to the 30-yard line goes Larry Holmes.
Well, all the Virginia players will say that he's healthy. I'll guarantee it. If this question was asked on a questionnaire, is Mike Gaddis healthy? How's his knee? They'll say it is just fine. But Gaddis, you know, can point at the camera all he wants to. Good, that's good. Now point at your offensive linemen, because they've done a great job. That's it. Give them all a kiss on the cheek. Buy them a watch.
That offensive line has been spectacular tonight for Oklahoma, and they've been solid, of course, all year long. On the first down, Blunden. It is complete to Dave Sweeney to the 37-yard line. Short of the first down, Tippins with the stuff. Sweeney's the backup fullback, junior from Salem, Virginia. The Oklahoma scoring drive, 65 yards, 11 plays in 6 minutes. I mean, these are big-time scoring drives. And we may get a look at the Sooner quarterback who's a junior, Steve Collins. He's more of the option runner kind of quarterback. He's had some action this year. Run for a touchdown, thrown for one in games.
He was a starter in '89, and partway through the '90 season, Cale Gundy took over. And you're right, he is the option guy. Great feet, good runner.
There's Cale Gundy.
Good job. I told you I was going to throw it 30 times. See,
Ye of little faith.
Larry Coker and Gary Gibbs have to be excited about the way this turned out on offense for them.
Boom. That ball came out of there. It's covered by Virginia at the 38-yard line, but on the pitch, just a big hit laid on Nicky Fisher, who fumbled earlier in the ball game when it counted. Schenkel was the man who came up with the big hit there. Number 8, the cornerback, came up and was right there just as the pitch was made by Blunden. Option is really not part of the balanced Virginia offense we talk about. The Air Force is handling nearly as sound a defeat to Mississippi State. That game is in the 4th quarter. Air Force has had a tremendous bowl record. They play well every time they get it in. 2nd down 11 from the 40. London under pressure. Completes it to Holmes. Almost no gain at all. Penalty marker is down right at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Aaron Mundy, the tight end, may have moved before that ball was snapped.
Motion on the offense.
It is against Virginia. 3:13 to go, 3rd quarter. Well, the weather has stayed nice for the ball game as I search for positive things to say about this ball game. It's at least not raining, George.
Well, the last time actually we saw Virginia was against Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech won that football game. That was back in 1984. That was when George was just in the beginning of the process of rebuilding. And then we saw him his first year at Virginia up and take on Clemson. And of course, that was an unfortunate event. They lost 48-0.
Hoosier sensation Von Dunbar drives Indiana against the Big Bad Bears of Baylor. A New Year's Eve tradition. The Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl. Live at 8 Eastern Tuesday night, exclusively on TBS.
Kevin Johnson drives the right side for the Suns. Nowhere to go. Punch it back outside to Tom Chambers. 20-footer on the way. It goes!
This week in the NBA. Beginning next Sunday, 5:30 Eastern on CNN.
Oklahoma leading at 48-7, 2:49 to go in the 3rd quarter from Jacksonville, Florida. Some of the nearly 2,000 high school band members who were invited here by the Gator Bowl, who have been, all of whom have been staying in our hotel with very thin walls. That's a record for thin walls set. I can testify that the high school students have had a great time this week. There are the trophies. You get a winner's trophy. They don't call anybody a loser here. They may have to change it here tonight, though. A winner's trophy, a runner's-up trophy, and then a trophy for each of the most valuable players for each team. Davis with the diving grab attempt on the Blunden pass at the 36.
Oklahoma playing with 5 defensive backs, man-to-man underneath. Davis had a shot of making that catch, just a little bit too much on it. Blunden ended up laying down after that one. As you said, he's seen some pressure. Only sacked once in the last 4 games.
Blunden is 8 of 19 for only 86 yards tonight. 1 interception, snapping his consecutive streak of 241 consecutive passes this season without an interception. And we'll find out what this stoppage of action is.
At 2 minutes and 54 seconds.
Yeah, that'll matter. 2:54, the clock is reset. That's good news.
I think George Wells might want to change the part where it says quarters.
To 4th.
Yeah, the 4th. Not really, just kidding.
On 4th down 11, Garno into punt again. Almost blocked. But Garno got away a beauty. Otis Taylor back at his 13-yard line. and only gets a couple of yards back on the return. Good coverage by the Cavaliers special team. And there Oklahoma will set up. On Tuesday night, New Year's Eve, TBS Sports presents the 1991 Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl from Tucson, Arizona. Ron Thulin, Pat Hayden, and Craig Sager will have the action beginning at 8 Eastern Time as the Baylor Bears take on the Indiana Hoosiers, and you take your portable cable outlet to wherever you go. See that ball game on New Year's Eve from Tucson.
They'll have a great time there. It was a great bowl. We've been there the last couple of years out in Tucson. Those people treat you very well.
Sure do.
Ron and Pat will really enjoy themselves. Craig.
Gundy under some pressure now, showing good mobility, completing the pass out here to the 35-yard line to Corey Warren. Cale Gundy, nice-looking athlete. He's not a running option kind of quarterback. He is a passer, but he does have some mobility.
You know, they'll ride the fullback into the line of scrimmage, pitch it outside. He's got good mobility. He doesn't have what he wants initially. Corey Warren finds the sideline and makes a nice catch there. Gundy gunned it in, moving it to his left, too.
Corey Warren's a sophomore only. He's from Houston, Texas. More contact along the line of scrimmage again before the snap. That's happened several times tonight. Virginia trying to any way to get an advantage here.
False start on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
Lucius Selman talking to Tom Hayes, the defensive coordinator. What a trio that was, right? Leroy, Dewey,
and Lucius, and he's the oldest brother.
All good citizens, too. You know, performed well in the classroom, have performed well in life after football. Real credit to Oklahoma University and their folks.
It's 1st and 15 as the penalty went against the Sooners. This is Duell Brewer, the junior from Lawton, Oklahoma, who has injured both his knees during his Oklahoma career. Boy, you think about one of the careers that might have been, although he battled his way back and is in the pros now. You think of Marcus Dupree back in the early 80s, the most highly recruited player in America who went to Oklahoma.
Good job by the tight end. Gets the hook. Contain a little slow getting there, and there's Duell from Lawton, Oklahoma, fighting his way through his knee injuries.
2nd down 4 from the 41. They give it to Duell again. Yard, and that's about all.
Brewer on the carry.
Brunninger, Moriarty, Wallace, Wrestler, Houston still in the football game. They've had an exceptional evening.
And it looks like a timeout down there with 1:41 to go in the quarter. There's Larry Holmes, the football player, not the boxer, on the left.
Matt Quigley is being assisted off the field. The 5th-year senior for the Cavaliers, Miami, Florida.
Brewer's carry good for 2 yards.
Rick Lance, when he first got here, took over and wasn't sure that Quigley would be able to make it. But as time went on, really grew in respect for the young man and respected his competitiveness, as George Welsh said he would. And Quigley had a great year for him this year.
Oklahoma with more than 500 yards on the night. That pass incomplete out here to the 47-yard line. Intended for Duell Brewer. And a rare stoppage of the Oklahoma Sooners offense tonight. And Brad Riddell, their punter, will get in here. He'll get a chance to break a mild sweat. 20 is Larry Holmes. Averages 8.5 yards per punt return. Riddell, it's a beauty. A boomer, you might want to call it. Fair caught at the 10. And Virginia will have to start in the hole, trailing 48-7. That was a 47-yard punt by Riddell. 1:15 to go, 3rd quarter. Atlanta Hawks basketball continues on TBS. The Hawks will host the Phoenix Suns Thursday. Skip Carey and Dick Versace, the entertaining duo. For all the action at 7:35 Eastern Time. That's Thursday on TBS. Brian Satola, Terrence Tomlin now in at receiver positions for Virginia. The give to Nicky Fisher on the right side. Out to the 17-yard line. Penalty marker after the play, it looked like. Did I see a flag go down there? Yes.
There's a dead ball, personal foul on the offense.
Virginia coming apart here a bit in terms of their emotions, trailing 48-7. So now they're going to get into even a deeper hole with the personal foul call. I'm sure this is an embarrassing game for the Virginia Cavaliers. This team had not lost in their last 8 regular season games.
And they haven't lost like this in a long time. They've been competitive throughout the last 4 or 5 years. But you're going to have nights like this. Things are going the way of the defense. Tom Hayes and his defense for Oklahoma. Things are happening for them. And as Tom O'Brien looks on, the offense just is not clicking tonight.
Nicky Fisher picks his way out to the 18-yard line. The first down marker is at the 20. Remember, they started at the 10-yard line. The clock running out in the third quarter. Must be Oklahoma fans.
It could be Virginia plans. Now they put these things into proper perspective, right?
Excellent point.
Oh, right. So I mean, we can still learn how to. We can learn from defeats.
Life goes on. And penalty markers continue to fly with 19 seconds in the third. I know one thing. You learn something, everything. I learned from Craig Sager not to ask George Welch how it'll be talking to his players with high SAT scores. As George pointed out, that didn't have a lot to do with this football game.
It wasn't necessarily the question. It was just
dead ball. False start.
George just happened to be talking to Craig. It didn't matter if he had asked him a question or not. George is just so competitive, and that is never going to change. I think, fortunately for George, he surrounded himself with some great people. You know, Brian and Lance, that can take some of that pressure off of him. Because, as we said before, till 1985, he used to do it all. And that just can wear you out over the course of a college football season.
Holmes in motion out of the shotgun formation for Blendon. And that was incomplete. And would be the last play of the third quarter. Back with the final 15 minutes of football from the 47th Gator Bowl right after this.
It wakes up sleepy purples and helps canary yellows to fly. It gives the blues a wonderful bump and even helps the roses to look rosier. It's Fuji color, and it's the reason why more people are looking into Fuji films every day. Fuji, a new way of seeing things.
I knew stress was part of the job, but my first day really put me to the test. By the evening, the stress gave me a headache that was so bad, I didn't think the pounding would stop. Thank goodness one of the doctors gave me Tylenol. Imagine, with all the pain relievers they have at the hospital, they use what I use. It made a real difference. Then I could too.
Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
It's Sears' biggest fitness sale. Walk, jog, or run with this 1 1/4 horsepower Lifestyler treadmill with auto incline and save big. Introductory price, just $499.99. Hurry, offer ends soon at Sears.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus to relieve your cold and cough at the same time. New Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough medicine in the purple box. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
15 minutes of football left. Oklahoma leading at 48-7. They led it right from the get-go when they came out with Air Gundy, having their quarterback Cale Gundy throw the ball very successfully. And Virginia, frankly, has not been able to find a way to even slow down Oklahoma tonight.
Well, not only that, you're totally out of your rhythm when they raced off like they did. Obviously, you get out of your pattern, and so as you look at the stats, they pretty well reflect what's happened. It hasn't really been pretty for the Cavaliers, but it's a Pro Bowl. It's a bowl game, and it's supposed to be a reward, and so it was a reward, and they'll be next year. How's that sound, Bob?
Good. That works for me.
All
Ed Garneau has to punt from his own end zone line. He had to just pop it out of there. Not a really long punt. And there is a reverse, and it's handed to Tink Collins. And he's got a little blocking. Somebody broke through what was a beautiful setup for Oklahoma to make the tackle for Virginia at the 33-yard line. A penalty marker is also down. So Tink Collins on the handoff off the punt return. Looked like the Atlanta Falcons at the end of the game yesterday against the New Orleans Saints a little bit. Russell Jones.
Clipping on the white on the return.
Russell Jones made the tackle of Tink Collins. Or committed the clip, excuse me. Tink Collins and Russell Jones combined earlier.
On the return team, 15 yards, it'll be 1st and 10.
When Tink Collins blocked a Virginia punt and Russell took it into the end zone for a touchdown. So they move it back out here to the 48-yard line, and here comes Steve Collins, the new quarterback for Oklahoma. He's a 6-foot-tall, 205-pound junior from Ennis, Texas. He has run for a touchdown and thrown for one. He is only 6 of 20 passing. Carried the ball 24 times for 91 yards. More of a runner than a passer compared to Cale Gundy. And Gundy will end his evening tonight with a record-setting performance. And Oklahoma now would be probably content to keep the ball on the ground and run this clock out.
Just a string of great players to play at Oklahoma. What a tradition that they have. And Gary Gibbs has done such a wonderful job in the last couple of years. Came into a difficult situation. Won a lot of football games, but Donnie Duncan felt like there needed to be a change at Oklahoma, so the legendary Barry Switzer retired. Gary, with most of the same people, now it's changed more recently, but with most of the same people, has done a wonderful job here in the last couple of years and has Oklahoma back into the spotlight, winning football games and with a little bit more respectable aura.
Really nice move by Duell Brewer after the initial tackle was made to run for the first down as Oklahoma goes to their option game. You'll see more of that wishbone look, even though they're in the I formation now. Collins hands it to the front man to the 29-yard line. Goes Mike McKinley. Steve Collins, very slick ball handler. So now after Virginia is pounded by the passing game, 329 yards from Cale Gundy, they're going to get pounded by this option game. The big offensive line, and Steve Collins running it down the line. You see Gundy and All-American Joe Bowden on the sideline. Gundy, 329 yards. It would be a regular season Sooner passing record. The most yards ever passed for was Monty Deer, 246 yards versus Colorado back in '62. A team record of 289. So both of those records would have fallen in a regular season game. So since it's a bowl game, it won't go in the regular season Oklahoma record books.
Ball, false start on the offense.
Gary Gibbs now going to have a chance to spend some time with his daughters, Whitley and Jordan.
Is Cale going to come up here and join us in the booth?
Oh, he could do that.
He's done everything else. Sell some popcorn, announce the game.
And look at Gary Gibbs. He's too good looking to be a defensive guy. That guy was a linebacker. You know, he looks like he could star in a movie or something. King of Kings, or they could cast him as Moses or one of those guys. And just very quiet and as he patrols the practice. But very knowledgeable of football game. Was a defensive coordinator at Oklahoma for a number of years, and Oklahoma has been in the top defensive categories and, in the past decades. And that man right there is responsible for the leadership of that defense. And now he has brought in Larry Coker on offense. Jim Donnan moved on. We're going to see diversification in the Sooner offense.
This is 3rd down 10 from the 35-yard line with Steve Collins in there. He's going to take it to the air, and he throws an incompletion at the 22-yard line, intended for Ricky Brady. Despite the large point spread of 48-7, our spotter Tim Anderson has done his usual great job. I'd like to thank him for another great year of player identification, and we'd like to wish Alex Vergara, our statistician, great success as he has now moved into the executive ranks of professional sports. Alex will soon become the vice president of marketing for the Continental Basketball Association, moving out to Denver, Colorado.
Good things happen to people that work in this booth.
Exactly, and it's our turn soon. We have time out on the field with 12:25 remaining.
Buick introduces the new Supercharged Ultra for 1992 with 20% more power, 205 horsepower to be exact. Ultra truly ranks among the world's finest luxury performance sedans. The new 1992 Supercharged Ultra from Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
The 1991 Gator Bowl is brought to you by Coors Light. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Have I told you that the weather's nice tonight? It's the good news out of here. And Oklahoma is having really a happy time. 48-7. The Sooners with a big lead with 12:25 remaining in this ball game from Jacksonville. On the 4th down and 10, Oklahoma went for it and got the first down. Duell Brewer on 4th down and 10.
Smitty, don't show that sideline anymore. Let's get to the other sideline. Okay, thanks. We've seen that look from George. George would appreciate it if we just looked at somebody else for a while. Saw an old teammate of mine down on the sideline, Jim Riley, a former defensive end for the Miami Dolphins back in the early 70s. He looks good.
On the 1st down 10. Right on 4th. Can you believe that? And to the 8-yard line goes Mike McKinley. A gain of 17 yards on that carry.
Still got that offensive line in there. Look at Ressler gets the block. McKinley breaks it up inside. Good hustle downfield by Ricky Brady. McKinley runs the ball. 17 yards. Gary Gibbs not putting the ball in the air, trying to keep it on the ground. But it's certainly not slowing down the Sooner offense.
1st and goal from the 8 on the option. The pitch at the last moment. Brewer! Touchdown! Oklahoma. Penalty marker is down. Check that there may not be a penalty. Let's hold on a second here.
Holding on the offense.
They'll bring back the touchdown as we have an offensive holding call against Oklahoma. But the Cavalier fans get to hear Boomer Sooner anyway. That'll be a 10-yard Oklahoma penalty.
Yeah, I think they got Ted Long on that one. Let's look at this again. You're going to see the flanker. You're going to see the flanker end up out in this area here and do a little tackle job. See number 3, Long coming out of the backfield, grabs a hold of him, whoop, pulled him down, kept Tyrone Lewis out of the play, but the official hit him with a yellow flag.
It was the key play on the touchdown run. Keith Lyle with the tackle of Duell Brewer at the 11.5-yard line.
But when Rick Lance came in and took over this defense, he decided not to look at any tape. He decided to evaluate each one of these players based on what he saw and what he heard from the coaches. And I'm sure that's what this staff's going to do with this game. This, run the eraser on this one because you won't want to see this. This is not us. Who are those guys in those orange uniforms? Let's say that never happened and move on again.
These are the great pumpkins. Here is Steve Collins. Keeping it, trying to turn it inside. He's stopped. Curtis Hicks was backup middle linebacker.
Certainly great to see Mike Archer again, and he's looking healthy, doing a fine job coaching the linebackers here. Reunited with Rick Lance. They used to work together at Miami, where Mike was a secondary coach and Rick was a defensive coordinator. He'll be a head coach again someday. Saw his Jeff, one of his sons, out there whipping the ball around in practice. His wife Barbara has made the adjustment to living up north again. But Mike Archer's a talented young coach, and I'm sure learned a lot, had a winning record, and actually was in this Gator Bowl in 1987, his LSU team won.
Collins throws the incompletion intended for the tight end Ricky Brady. And it will be 4th down and 10. Oklahoma went for it last time. Instead of just packing up extra points on the board with a 48-7 lead, they'll probably go for it again here. Last time they got it. That's when if things are going right, they are going right. Greg Urban enters the game, number 5 for Oklahoma, as they're reaching deep into the roster here. No signal for touchdown. Incomplete is the rule by the officials. No touchdown. So Virginia will take over first down from their own 10-yard line. Intended for Ricky Brady. He made a great shoestring grab earlier and almost had that one. Nice hands by this backup tight end, and he is only a sophomore.
And he does look like a fine receiver. Here's the fake. We've seen this play numerous times tonight. Virginia there. The quarterback reloads.
It hit the ground.
Yep. Good call by the official.
I think he still had time to make the play at first, though, don't you?
Oh.
That's one of the more successful running plays of the night. Terry Kirby out here to the 26-yard line on the quick opener, giving Cavaliers a little running room. With 9:50 remaining in the 47th Gator Bowl. And that's about how many people are remaining, as a lot of people are headed out of here about 9:50. They had a crowd here at the beginning of the game tonight of about 60,000. Notice on a lot of the bowl games this year, on some of the bowl games, the attendance is down. The economy has a great deal to do with that. Intended for Aaron Mundy. The pass goes incomplete. And Blunden is now 8 of 22 for only 87 yards. His final game at the University of Virginia. Air Force with the big lead late in the Liberty Bowl in Memphis.
Blunden, being a basketball player, is familiar with off nights. You watch some of the great ones, all of a sudden it won't go in. And that's how it's been for Matt tonight.
Here's Kirby. Can't stay on his feet all the way, but he did get his way out to the 46-yard line for another first down. He said his best memory as a basketball player for the Virginia Cavaliers was participating in the Virginia victory over Oklahoma in 1989 in the NCAAs that sent Virginia into the Final 8.
Well, they're getting back at him for that right now. I'm sorry we didn't get to see this young man display more of his talents, because he has been a great back for Virginia and will be again next year. But due to the score, O'Brien, I'm sure, had to get out of their offensive scheme, and as a result, the ball was in the air more than he wanted it to be.
Oh, Terry Kirby clothesline on that play, about a yard deep. Let's go to Craig Sigers.
Well, thank you, Bob. This man certainly didn't expect to be a spectator tonight, Cale Gundy, but after building up a 48-7 lead, sitting out the entire fourth quarter. Congratulations, great performance.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it very much. We had a good time down here. We really worked hard for 2 weeks, and it paid off today. We came out and ran a great offense, and the receivers caught the ball, and the offensive line and the coaches did a really good job.
You told everyone you can throw the ball 30 times tonight. Nobody believed you. Were you sincere? Did you have to tell Coach you're really going to do it, or was that always the game plan?
Well, I came out Monday on our first practice, and Coach Gibbs told me at the beginning of practice, Coach Gibbs said, Cale, we're going to throw the ball 30 times. How many of those can you complete? I said, I'll complete 25 of them, Coach.
You did a great job. You also set an all-time bowl record by a school from the Big 8 passing yards. You know what record you broke?
Yeah, I heard just a while ago I broke my brother's passing record at Oklahoma State. He had about 315 yards, and they said I broke it, and I'm just pretty happy about that. I just want to say hi to everybody back home, and thanks for supporting us all year.
All right, congratulations. The MVP votes aren't in yet, but don't go in the locker room too early. Bye.
Thank you, Craig. A little pressure there on Tim, who votes for that, of course. But it'd be tough to look otherwise from Cale Gundy. And also a modest young man. You like the personality of the young man.
Sure, yeah. Real competitor. Do a great job for Oklahoma over the next couple of years. I could hire him as a prognosticator.
He said, if you let me throw it 30 times, I'll complete 25. He ends the night 25 of 31. That pass complete to Aaron Mundy. But there's a penalty marker on the play, as fate would have it. Offsides against Oklahoma, so the play will stand.
Mundy coming down the middle. Matt Blunden spots him, throws it in there, and Mundy takes the punishment, hangs on to the football. Big play for the Virginia Cavaliers.
8:20 to go in the ball game. Only 3,000 fans made the trip from Norman, Oklahoma here to Jacksonville. It's a halfback option pass, lofted into the air by Terry Kirby, and broken up at the 8-yard line by Drew Chrisman, number 24.
Good job. Chrisman stayed deep. He's the 5th defensive back, and tossed the ball to the left, and Kirby tries to get his hips around and lay it up there, but good job of coverage by Levy and Chrisman. They didn't bite.
Tomlin, Satola, the wideouts in the game right now for Virginia on the 2nd down 10. They run the ball to Kirby for a yard or two, not much more. Corey Wilson making the stop for the Oklahoma Sooners. 8 minutes to go in the game. 114 yards rushing on the night for Virginia to match their 113 yards passing. Virginia was favored in this ball game by a point and a half. I mean, it was considered a very even matchup. With Virginia, their 8-2-1 record. They tied Clemson this year, lost on a last-second field goal to last year's co-national champion Georgia Tech. Their only other loss came to Maryland in the season opener. It is complete to the 24-yard line to Brian Satola, senior receiver out of Upper Saddle River, New Jersey. And short of the first down. It'll be 4th down and about 4 at the 23-yard line.
Satola's a 5th-year senior, graduate student. Was injured versus Wake Forest, hurt his thigh earlier in the year, and has just now come back, and glad to see he's able to participate in this final game.
May not get this playoff before that 25. They do. Got down to 1 second on the play clock. It is complete for a touchdown. Terrence Tomlin, who had been the starting flanker, injured early in the year, gets it in the end zone, but a penalty marker is down. Hold on for a moment.
Roughing the passer on the defense. Touchdown is good.
So the call roughing the passer, and the touchdown does count. That was Terrence Tomlin's only touchdown reception this year. He was injured versus Navy.
Here's the matchup right here. You're going to see Blunden roll to the right. He buys time. Terry Kirby does an excellent job of keeping a pass rusher off and looking 42 lock on right there. Blunden gets his feet around, squares his shoulders, and fires it downfield. In the midst of three Sooners, Tomlin comes up with the football, and in the meantime, Blunden took a shot, and it's 15 yards on the kickoff.
There's the point after by Husted. It is good. Here's what this looks like, the hit on the quarterback.
The boom. Russell Allen.
It was a 90-yard scoring drive for Virginia.
When Richard Pryor's luck runs out, he sentenced to hit the road. It's a non-stop lap-filled road trip. Cicely Tyson, Richard Pryor, Bustin' Loose. 9 Eastern, Wednesday night on TBS.
When people volunteer to make a difference, anything's possible. And the PGA Tour has been proving it for over 50 years. With its tournaments and players and some 55,000 volunteers, the PGA Tour raises more than $24 million each year to help local charities. 55,000 points of light, proving that when you volunteer to make a difference, anything's possible.
The Hollywood Legends. This year, give the gift everyone wants to read. MGM, When the Lion Roars. Call 1-800-251-6900 and order your copy today. Also available in bookstores everywhere.
1966, Tennessee versus Syracuse. The Orangemen were led by former Denver Bronco great Floyd Little, who set a Gator Bowl record with 216 yards rushing on the day. And what a backfield, with Little combining with powerful fullback Larry Zonka. However, they weren't enough to stop the Vols, as Dewey Warren connects here with Richmond Flowers, and Tennessee tops Syracuse 18-12. 48-14 as the Cavaliers have scored. They will kick off from the 50-yard line because of the roughing the quarterback penalty assessed against Oklahoma. And a pop-up kickoff. Fair caught at the 15-yard line. And it'll be Oklahoma ball, first down there with 6.5 minutes to go in the game. Here once again is Craig Sager.
Well, thank you, Bob. Joe Bowden, the day is done as well. 48-14 now, Oklahoma leading. This is going to be a great team next year. They're talking already about possibly going to the Orange Bowl, but for you, it's on to the NFL. Disappointed you won't be back with them next year?
Well, I really am, because I know our program is starting to open up a little bit, and I wish I was a part of it. Because, I mean, we've been on probation. I wish I was, you know, to have a chance to go to the Orange Bowl. So, but I got to move on, so that's it.
What was the difference in this game? They're talking about Virginia possibly being favored going in.
Well, I mean, it's like we look for a more physical ball game. I mean, Virginia has a good team, but it's really not that physical. It's more of a finesse team, and when we're used to playing so physical, so it was like kind of a, I wouldn't say an easy day, but it was kind of, you know, something we was used to by playing the teams in our Big 8 conference.
Your week here has been very relaxed. You've had a good time, but you also practice hard.
Well, it has been a pretty nice week. I mean, we practiced hard when it was time to practice, and when we got off the field, it was like relaxation. We could do whatever we want. We didn't have curfew, so it was a great week.
Season's not over for you. Senior Bowl, Hula Bowl?
Well, yeah. I mean, I got to go and get in more shape for the Senior Bowl and the Hula Bowl, so I'm looking forward to that too.
Well, congratulations, great job. Back to you, Bob.
Duell Brewer with the carry, and Big 8 Defensive Players of the Year you see who've come out of Oklahoma. And Joe Bowden got it this year. Look at some of those names. Bosworth, Ricky Bryan, Leroy Selman, Rod Schote. I mean, those are some big-time names there. And add the name of Joe Bowden, and he will go try to make his mark in the NFL. Tim, what's your thought about him NFL-wise?
Well, I think he's got the ability to do it. Good quickness. He's talking to the coaches for Oklahoma. Johnny Barr's a linebacker coach. Tom Hayes thinks he's got the agility to cover, which is really important. You know, the Dolphins took a great Oklahoma linebacker a few years ago, Jackie Shipp, and he was great against the run, but he couldn't cover anybody. In the NFL, you got to be able to run with some folks, and I think Bowden can do that. He was the All Big 8 newcomer of the year in '89, and now he goes on to be the Defensive Player of the Year. And here's a guy that just worked hard all the way through his career and developed his skills. And you got to give a guy like that a lot of credit. When he went to Oklahoma, you know, they were going to the Orange Bowl all the time, and it's his kind of character and the leadership from some of those other seniors that has brought this program back.
Larry Holmes, you can see the frustration on that young man as he catches the punt, and the Cavaliers will take it near midfield.
1874, the first transatlantic cable connecting Ireland and America. It was made by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens makes telephone switches that handle 1 million calls in a single hour, carry voice, text, and data on a single phone line. And at 23 research sites in America, the people of Siemens are developing technologies to connect us all to the future. Siemens, precision thinking.
Why fight the weather? Get to Sears and get a Craftsman half-horsepower garage door opener for only $139.99. But quantities are limited. So hurry to Sears today before you're left out in the cold.
Christmas, marked by Santas, holly, and the welcome presence of Alka-Seltzer. Fast relief of heartburn with headache, accompanied by jingling bellies. Alka-Seltzer, the other holiday tradition.
Wouldn't it be great if you invented magic recliners that took you anywhere? If you guys took a trip to the Keys for some boating, volleyball, and a little snorkeling. And wouldn't it be great if just by pushing a button you got beer? Really great premium beer like Keystone.
What's this button?
No. Cold filtered Keystone and Keystone Light. Bottle beer tastes in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
Oops.
4 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in this ball game. 48-14 Oklahoma. Cavaliers started from their own 45-yard line. They're down to the 13 tailback, Charles Way, with about an 8 or 9 yard scamper around the left side. And we've got a new quarterback in there also for Virginia. This is Bobby Goodman. He played 2 games this year when Matt Blunden came up with a staph infection of his elbow, and is 27 of 44 passing coming into the ball game, threw 2 interceptions, 3 touchdown passes, ran for a touchdown. He's 5'11", 210. And Bobby Goodman is a junior. Inside the 45 to the 43 goes Charles Way. And let's go back to Craig Sager.
Well, thank you, Bob. With me, Terry Ray and Jason Belser. In fact, Jason has been listening to your broadcast in my earpiece. We saw him do some imitations at halftime of the Sooners coaching staff. But he wants to do your sidekick right now, Tim Foley. What do you think of the game, Tim?
Well, I tell you, the Sooners, they really impressed me. I mean, that little devil, Kel Gundy, he did some heck of a things, and it's kind of like Gladys Knight without the pips. I mean, I tell you that Kel and the offensive line and Mike Gaddis, they really performed well. Really exciting. You can't take anything away from the Virginia Cavaliers, though. I mean, they're a positive team. They played their hearts out, but the Sooners, they definitely good tonight.
What do you think, Bob?
I think he's got the job. I think he's got the job.
For jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. Send us your card, because if you work cheaply, but I doubt that Jason Belser does. He, by the way, did a lot of imitations of the coaches. He did a great Gary Gibbs imitation at their talent night. I thought he was sounding pretty much like you, Tim.
Yeah, well, I think he did too. I think that
he even had your Gladys Knight in the Pips.
He had my Gladys Knight in the Pips, and but he'll be playing in the NFL next year. They're going to get rare earth in there.
When did you do Gladys Knight in the Pips? That was 7, 8 games ago. He remembered that. So he's not only good at that, he's a regular Tim Foley viewer. So we like Jason for that. With 2:46 to go in this ball game, Jason, we appreciate the help. Believe us.
Exactly. And you had a great career at Oklahoma. your dad's proud of you, your friends are proud of you, and you'll be playing in the NFL next year.
He was all Big 8, 34th consecutive start, 13 career interceptions, had 5 this year. Whale of a career for Jason Belson.
3 great breaks on the ball tonight.
I don't know, after that, Arsenio Hall.
Right.
Regular viewer of ours, so I'm sure he'll probably be calling on Jason. Incomplete at the 27-yard line. Bobby Goodman getting some zip on it. He was leveled out there, too. Terry Kirby down there in the receiving area. The pass intended for the tailback. There's the man who was covering the play, Russell Jones.
As we mentioned, his dad is the offensive running back coach here at Oklahoma. Has had that position for a number of years, since '78. Now he's getting to watch his son play as a Sooner.
Garneau with the punt. And just gets into the end zone. Been that kind of night for Virginia. 2 minutes, 31 seconds remaining in the game. Garneau with a 53-yard punt.
This royal throne of kings, this happy breed of men, this earth of majesty, this little world.
The airline that's uniting the world, United, brings you non-stop service from 6 U.S. cities to London's Heathrow and the land of poets.
This blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England.
Come fly the friendly skies.
First down from the 20-yard line now for Virginia, just running out the clock with a 48-14 shellacking of the Virginia Cavaliers. And Steve Collins continues as quarterback. Let's go to Craig Sager once again.
Well, thank you, Bob. We mentioned the Virginia Cavalier team was a who's who among famous fathers. Relatively speaking, none bigger than Reverend Jesse Jackson. Yusuf, a linebacker with the team. First of all, your comments on this game, 48-14. It's got to be tough being a spectator.
It takes a lot of character to sit through four quarters of this. But Virginia's had some good games. It's been a great year, and the team continues to grow. What's amazing to me is Virginia was just about 7-8 points away from being undefeated this year. So they have a good team, but what impresses me, I must tell you, is that last year, none of those players were in graduate school. This year, Yusuf, for example, will graduate in June. He only has 3 hours to go. He'll play next year as a senior in law school. And so while Virginia's playing a good brand of basketball, they're graduating their players, and that's real good stuff.
We know his role in the football team, a linebacker. We see what role he plays. Presidential year coming up, the election. What role will you play in the presidential election year in the campaign?
Spending a lot of time registering voters and trying to put focus on issues as critical as the homeless. What's critical to me is that the real questions be answered. Where did the money go, and how do you get the jobs back? And right now, we're finding ways to bail out the new Soviet republics, the Commonwealth. We found money to bail out Japan and Europe. Aid, trade, credit, loans, debt forgiveness. It's time to bail out America. And that's not isolationist. That's just survival. We must reinvest in America and put Americans back to work. Where are you going to break up all this racism and anti-Semitism and sexism and fear
is to make people have a sense of hope in economic growth rather than fear of losing their jobs, their health care, and their life options.
Okay, well, thanks for being with us. The Dr. King Parade also will be on TBS coming up in the middle of January. I hope you can be with us then, too.
Absolutely.
Okay, Bob.
Thank you, Craig Sager and Reverend Jesse Jackson. His son, Yusef Jackson, you saw him, number 51, is a junior. Swingman linebacker for the Virginia Cavaliers. He'll be back next year, Virginia, as you heard what Reverend Jackson said. His son will be entering law school, but still finishing his eligibility as a football player. 36 seconds to go in this ball game. Oklahoma just running out the clock. To the 36-yard line goes Duell Brewer.
Gary Gibbs is running away from the... They tried to douse him, but he had it up.
He's avoided blockers before, and so he got out of the way of much of that. What can he say? With 10 seconds and the clock counting down, that'll be the last play of this ball game. No sense getting anybody else hurt. The pride of Virginia was certainly hurt tonight by an incredible air performance by quarterback Cale Gundy. Offensive line played great. Virginia did everything they could to stop Oklahoma, and nothing worked as Oklahoma presented a real balanced attack. They could run it when they wanted to, and they certainly passed it better than ever in the history of Oklahoma. More yardage than any Oklahoma quarterback ever passed for in a regular season game, even though this was a bowl game and won't count on the regular season Oklahoma records. 48-14, the Sooners over the Cavaliers. Back for final comments right after this.